All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Juice is Loose podcast. We're back, number 163, and we got quite a few topics to talk about. As the title says, gamers using 1% of their brains. Get into that in a little bit, but let's start with Super NES Classic Edition Mini. Robert had a nice, pretty cool vlog video about his journey to getting one. Retro and T also got one. I'm not sure about Terrell. Pretty sure you didn't though.
I tried, but see, I had to work, so I got out of work and went straight to Best Buy. They were like, "Nah," they were gone like this morning. Like everybody, I think all the ones they had were on reserve, and they had 3 people who didn't pick them up, and then those were sold like in the few, like within like minutes. But supposedly I'm gonna go tomorrow because they said they were getting restocks tomorrow. So.
Yeah. Well, there were like 10 people in my line saying that they were late for work. they were gonna be in this line and buy this.
I'm very tempted to call my boss tomorrow and be like, "Yo, I'm not coming in. I'm not coming in for like a few hours."
I think after these first couple weeks, I think there's gonna be
fun,
they're gonna be sitting on the shelves.
Well, the fact that the dude was like, "Oh yeah, we're getting restocks tomorrow," I was like, "Well, that's different. I'm not used to them knowing when they're gonna get restocks in."
Yeah. And apparently Target's was the place to go. Like that's
fuck me.
When I went there, I went there to get my Pro controller. When did the Switch come out? On a Friday? I got it at midnight, so I went there Saturday, and they're like, "Yeah, we just sold our last Switch on Saturday when it launched, on the day before." So it's not really in my area. It's not known as the go-to place for gaming. So I think. I would probably try there for me if they next restocks come out. I'm debating, like I'm really not sold on getting one at this point, just because I don't know, it's cool and I do want to play some of the games, but for me it's not really worth $80 for something that's going to be a short little phase for me. Probably play it for a little bit.
Because I think in general you're not like that much of a retro gamer.
No,
anyway,
I really don't.
Yeah, I mean it's probably just not for you.
I would really like to play Star Fox again though. Like it's been years and I never owned it. I always just had borrowed my friends and had it for like 2 years and played through it, beat it dozens of times, and I haven't played it since.
Wait, you never owned Star Fox? I thought that was like one of your favorite.
It was just at my house for 2 straight years, and I finally gave it back to him when I sold my Super NES to my cousin back when I needed money for the N64, and I gave him that copy back, which he probably didn't even. I don't even think he asked for it back. I just I didn't feel right keeping it.
Oh, you're a good friend.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, but I still have my buddy's Turok Dinosaur Hunter on the N64. I never gave that back. But yeah, so it is one of my top 5 Super NES games. And crazy thing is, I never had to buy it, but I played it. Like I said, I beat that game dozens of times, like probably 20 plus. So I would like to play it again. And Star Fox 2 is interesting, but. Right now, Switch is definitely my focus, and I wasn't looking to spend $80 on that. So, let's go to T first. You got one. Have you played or really experienced it much since you got it, or do you even open it?
Nah, man, it's just a collector's item. So, no, I've been playing the hell out of it. I love it.
I hate when T does that. You
know it's coming.
It's like, I want to side check the shit out of you. Hey, man.
You hear it all the time about, you're surprised how it is tiny. It is a tiny little thing. And that's what she said.
I hope not. Shit.
Well, not to me. I was just saying. She'd be lying. She said that shit to me.
Make you feel bad.
What you talking about, Willis?
No, it's so cool because it has a regular size SNES controller, but it's so tiny. I think that's what makes it so weird. And it's obviously it's super light, but I love the little menu operating system setup. I never got the NES, so this is all new to me, and it's just so cool to have. I love it.
How do you feel the games look? Because I know it's a big upgrade over Virtual Console.
I'm a little torn. I obviously this is like pixel perfect, but I don't want pixel. I'm a dude. I grew up with a CRT, so I'm like using like the filters because it makes me feel better. It makes me feel more at home. I can't do like the straight up clean, uber clean look because it doesn't work.
Really? That's what I love.
Yeah, I can't stand it. It doesn't work for me. So I definitely use that CRT filter. I forgot what it's called. Maybe it's just called CRT.
That's what it's called. And apparently there's a really good, like if you watch Digital Foundry's little retro review, there's a really good, like, takes the composite signal and turns it to digital. It's like $100 and some though. If you have all your Super NES and all the games, you know, it's worth it because the results.
Oh yeah, I use
very impressive.
I don't have like the little converter box or whatever, but I do have. I use what is it? RGB SCART. I use that and I plug it into like a cheap HDMI thing. It's not as good, but I've seen there's stuff out there that looks phenomenal. And while that's great, you know, obviously that's if you have all the games and stuff, that's the way you want to play it. I don't really have. This is a great value because I don't half of these games I don't have.
That's true.
So even if I was to buy them on like a virtual console somewhere, which would be the Wii U's or Wii's to Wii U, it would be over the price. So, and these are all games that I want. Like, I have some of these, but none of these are filler games. Like I said, 10 games at least that I didn't have that I played maybe back in the day, but I never beat or something like that. This is a great value for me as a person who does appreciate like, you know, retro gaming and stuff. So,
and how was your experience getting?
And my experience getting it was pretty cake. I just kind of like I knew like the GameStop that's close to me. I know they opened at 10, and I just went up there like around 9:15 or so, and it was a tiny line. It was probably like there was 7 people in line, and I was the 8th. And I think we got up to around 32 or so, and we walked in, got them. They had a bunch for pre-orders and they had walk-ins, and I don't think anybody walked away because I kind of hung around and like looked at other stuff, and I don't think anybody walked away without one that wanted one. So it went pretty smooth.
That's cool. And I had forgotten that it comes with 2 controllers, which it doesn't seem like they didn't really put in. Feels like from what I've seen, like the actual 2 co-op games, like you can take turns on some of the games. I forget the actual number of actual playing at the same time. I think it was like 6 or 7 or something. Yeah. Seemed kind of weird to have the 2 controllers, but not focus more on the co-op games. I don't know what else.
There's not really that much, co-op from that gen. I mean, other than like, you know, Contra type games or you know, shooters or something.
Like Final Fight or something.
Final Fight, yeah. I mean, fighting games obviously, but you can only put so many on there, you know.
Mortal Kombat 2 for me would have been.
Mortal Kombat 2 would have been a great choice.
That probably would have made me buy one, but let's get on.
A lot better than Street Fighter. I still don't understand why they put that one on there.
And it's the weak one. I guess not.
Yeah, on top of that,
they
just release it on the Switch. It makes no sense just because of that reason already. Mortal Kombat would have been a better choice.
All right, Retro, how was your experience? Because you were pretty worried about getting one, if I remember.
I was worried in the beginning about getting the pre-order because you have to be really fast with that always. But yeah, I'm pretty good at that. I'm like a ninja. I have like 10 tabs open of 10 different stores, you know, every day basically until I see one. Because people always complain, but if you want one, you have to go all out for that shit. And once I had my pre-order, it was easy. I got like a message on my phone. I went to the store. There was nobody there basically. I picked it up and I went home, and that was it. I didn't try mine yet though because I'm playing so much shit right now, so I don't really feel like setting it up now just to play some more games. I gotta contain what I play because there's too many games coming out now where I have to play the previous installments before I want to play the next game. So I didn't try it out yet.
All right, but I do gotta admit, I do like the Famicom design. It's not what I grew up with, but I do like it in the mini form, almost a little bit more than the US version. It's crazy.
Shenanigans.
But what they should have done is made that thing like yellow and green, so it looked like an actual Super NES. And this, after 20 years, because that's what color they turn to. The bottom half that turned? There's two different plastics, and it's from the heat and stuff from all over the years. It's like a yellowish green instead of gray now, which makes me not even want to look at mine anymore. But I don't know if the Famicom had that problem.
Mine has it. Mine is pretty yellow, but it's weird because for a while, from what I always understood, people still don't know what it was. If it's the bad plastic or the aging, or I never smoked, so I know it's not bad. Mm-hmm. It just happens to some and not to others, and to mine it happened.
Yeah, I'm sure
Super Nintendo even looks worse than my NES.
As you can see, my SNES has no yellowing.
Did you do a little modding? Did you replace?
No, I didn't replace anything.
I wonder if they sell like the bottom half or something you could buy and replace.
Probably. I also have a N64 analog stick that works beautifully, so I'm just lucky, I guess.
Yeah, mine still works. But I never played Mario Party, which I know killed.
Oh yeah, Mario Party will definitely kill you.
All right, Robert, I mean, you have your 20-something minute video detailing how you got one, but why don't you just summarize the experience, and have you turned it on yet?
Okay, so no, I haven't.
He hasn't turned it on.
Apparently, my stepdad did. I wasn't home. He played with it. The only time I played with it and stuff was at the Nintendo New York store. But it was like I wanted to do that Nintendo New York thing because it was like I was just thinking like now that I have, because I don't have like school Thursdays and stuff like that, and I'm like, that'd be kind of cool to just try it. I've never camped out for anything, and so I'm like, I'm gonna try this. And it was long, and I'm still tired because I still haven't had a complete set sleep schedule yet. Again, I'm still pretty damn tired, and I stayed up for the whole time. I didn't even sleep once.
Yeah, you didn't even vlog once while you were sitting in line. Like every time you were walking away, I was like, man, I wanted to just see him sitting where he's sitting and just like seeing what the vibe is like.
Literally, it's just people. Everyone. Okay, so what it was is everyone was sitting down, or people were talking to each other, and that was it. Like, and then maybe, no, not even you would. I don't know if there was really anyone playing games with each other. Like when I played Switch, I was just playing myself. I was just playing like SteamWorld Dig 2. I was just playing it myself.
Like a perfect opportunity to do some wireless LAN Splatoon or something.
I did that when. So after a while, right, they gave us the wristbands, and there was like trouble because they started like the cops started getting involved and stuff. It was pretty crazy because like people started cutting in line once it got to like maybe the 70, 80 mark, and they were only going to give out 150, even though that very next day they were going to give out more SNES, and they still are today. So they obviously have a lot, and it's like, and the thing is, they couldn't prove who was in line, so they just cut it off and stopped giving wristbands out. And the cops started getting involved. People started getting angry at each other. It was pretty crazy. Yeah,
I love New York.
And so what happened was we went to the other side of the street because apparently it was like a public place. So I had my chair down there, and I just was sitting there. I would walk around. And from there we started playing like some Splatoon. But the thing was, I don't know why, we tried playing Mario Kart, we would always get communication error. I don't know why. I have no clue. Even though it was literally, we were right next to each other, no clue why. And then
I think there's always been communication errors in that game. I just think it because it was a Wii U game in the porting process compared to I don't know. It just felt like that game has always gotten communication errors with me.
Maybe it was just so strange because Splatoon 2 was fine.
Mario Kart.
Oh,
because Splatoon 2 we were playing Salmon Run, and that was fine. We played that, and we had a good time. But then my nose started to bleed, so I had to like cut it there. Like that was it.
What'd you do when you had to go to the bathroom? Was there like a good place to public facilities or?
Oh no! Well, okay, so literally right, but next to. Okay, so you got the Nintendo World Store across the block is a Starbucks, and right there is you got a bathroom. So I would just go into the bathroom, and I just went to the bathroom there. Like that's kind of
just going to Starbucks without buying anything and use the bathroom.
Oh, I did that multiple times. Yeah, and I don't think they mind it. I feel like they should know by now because a lot of people online do that. But at the same time, it's Starbucks. They're always making business. And it just for me, I don't even know what's at Starbucks, to be honest. So I just coffee, but I don't drink coffee, and so I don't I don't mess with that.
Get a muffin or something.
Yeah, but I didn't do that. Instead, I went to the place right next to us, which was a Dwayne Reed, and I bought this big box of chocolate chips, and I ate all of it with, and the same thing with I bought multiple.
Sleep.
No, well, that's the thing is like, technically, I tried to sleep, but then there was a point where it was 6 a.m. I was about to sleep. I felt myself nodding off, and all of a sudden I got like tapped on my foot, and I wake up and it's a guard, and he's telling everyone to get up because Good Morning America's about to record, and it's like, what?
They're recording right there?
No, that's the thing. They weren't. They were like recording on the other side, not even facing us. It's like, what does that mean? Why does it matter?
Funny if Robert fell asleed for like 8 hours. Everyone just left him there, and he woke up and it was all over.
That would be funny. But yeah, and and it was funny because I am sick, and when I was sick there, luckily I didn't get like worse there. I think it's because, to me, my theory is if you sleep, you get worse when you're sick. When you're sick, because then you get into those other stages of like coughing and stuff. So I never got to that coughing stage while I was there, and it was long. But when I got home, it was so strange because I was like, that wasn't that long. It didn't feel long, which is weird. Because I did enjoy it. I was never like bored. It was always like I'd walk around, he'd talk to people, we'd play. I always had music on, so I'd always have music on me. And it was good. The party was cool because they had they had 90s music, and they just had a whole bunch of 5 booths, and all the lines were quick, so you could go play them all, and it was fun. They would give out every time you play a game, they'd give you a 90s theme thing, like a hacky sack or a Slim Jim or something like that. And it was pretty cool. I like what they did, and if they do the same thing for like Odyssey, I wouldn't mind going if they have like something special for like Odyssey. Like that could be pretty cool. And I think that's one of the well, I hope no. If it's a keychain, I'm not staying for no goddamn keychain. You know what I mean? So like if they give out, honestly, I don't know what they would.
Cappies.
But I already have cappies, so it doesn't matter. I don't need them.
Yeah, they're doing a midnight. Best Buy is the same day. What else comes out when Mario comes out? Assassin's Creed or something. So they're
who cares?
They only do midnight releases for Nintendo games when there's other big games the same day. So
I think that might change on the Switch.
It could, but it just happens to be, I think it's Assassin's Creed or something comes out. One of the so-called big AAA games come out the same day. And I'm like, I got to work Friday. So it's like, do I even want to go to the midnight to like that just makes no sense. But it's cool they're doing it. Maybe I'll call in that day. Fuck it. I haven't called in a long time. Like maybe not even this year yet. So, but anyway, Super NES Classic, good stuff. I'm glad you guys that really wanted them got them. And except for Terrell, I think you're going to this week though.
I'm gonna try it. I'm debating on whether or not I need to text my boss and be like, I'm not showing up early tomorrow.
The NES Classic. I remember I was just like, yeah, maybe I'll stop at Best Buy at 10 a.m. And I drove by and there's like 20 people in line. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not going to waste my time. Because I know there's not more than 20, in stock. And then that really just turned me off. And the infamous moment when I took a picture of the Switch and there was an NES Classic in the store I was in. And I didn't think about it and T didn't notice it till later.
Yeah.
And then I went back and it was gone.
That was one of the funniest fucking moments because there was so much anger.
Well, yeah, he was talking about the Switch, and like
he was
and
mad.
Then the next day, he's like, "Was it NES Classic?" I'm like, yeah, dude, I said it. There was an NES Classic. He's like, oh, and I went back and it was gone.
I raged. Like, no, and well, the thing is, like the NES Classic, especially comparatively, the games are not as compelling.
No,
like there's so much filler garbage. Like
plus the 3-foot controller. Like they're just. I know the Super NES is only 5 foot, but to me the NES Classic was was not that appealing.
Well, the thing with that appealed to me is that you can hack it and put whatever you want on there. And I'm like, now we're talking. Like,
how the hell?
now
I don't even know how you hack it. What, just a USB plug into a computer or something? Like
yeah, something like that. I didn't really look at the video because I was too upset because I didn't have one.
No,
they're gonna bring them back.
Yeah, well, Super Nintendo class is gonna end up being able to do that too because it's the same operating system, basically the same hardware. So I'm sure they'll crack it sooner or later.
No, well, you know what? I will say something. I was playing Star Fox for the first time. God, I can't. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. To me, it's almost unplayable.
Yeah, give it time. I completely understand where you're coming from.
Like I was playing.
Did you go through the tutorial?
No, I just went straight to the game.
That's a strike right there. Go through the tutorial. Start off with the tutorial.
Because I played it, I'm like, dude, this is. I mean, like it's. Like you can see the individual frames.
It had some slowdown, but overall, I mean, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where it would be trouble for our little millennial here. But I think if you go through the tutorial, give it, you have to be in that Super Nintendo mindset first of all. You can't come from like Doom on a PC and then I'm gonna go play some Star Fox. No, it's not gonna work. You have to kind of be in that mentality, and I think the tutorial will do you wonders. Just start there.
And I think Yoshi's Island stood the test of time. That game,
Yoshi's
fucking amazing. And Digital Foundry's video, I was like, holy shit! Like that game looks incredible. That uses the FX chip too, which I never even knew.
One of my favorite Super Nintendo games, Yoshi's Island, is incredible.
I just couldn't stand Mario.
I played on the 3DS, so I didn't.
Oh no!
No, that's not the good one, is it?
No, that's the bad one.
What did you mean it's the bad one?
What trash?
No! I mean, no, the ambassadors program thing they gave.
Yeah,
that really. Okay, that's different. I mean, that really.
But it's on that little ass screen, though, man.
I would say that really downscales the visuals, like because that was the Game Boy Advance game.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the
and it's only 2 buttons. Like the Game Boy Advance, or it had 4 buttons. It had the shoulder buttons and A and B. So it's definitely not the full. That's not the full game that you.
No, you gotta play it on the. Yeah, you have to play at least Virtual Console on. Is it on?
But he has the Super NES, so just play it on.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the best way to play it now.
Yeah, it's true.
Mario Kart doesn't. I don't think I'm gonna be.
Yeah, I don't think. Again, that's the other one. I think Mario Kart doesn't control very good.
I thought that too, and I started playing it, and I could not put it the hell down. I got back into Super Mario Kart
because I was so good on Ghost House 1 or whatever that stage. I was so good at that, and I'm just like, I haven't played Super Mario Kart. Another game I didn't own because my buddy had it, and I basically had it for the life since the game came out till I sold my Super NES.
I started off with that game. I started playing it again, hitting every curve, just hitting everything, and all of a sudden I clicked, and I was right back.
Really? I don't know. Like I think it's like similar. Mario Kart 64 and up. I feel like
I can't play.
Are like playable.
I can't play Mario Kart 64.
You're out of your mind. But anyway,
it's either that or double
I cannot stand Mario Kart 64.
That was a modernizing of.
I never
Mario
liked
Kart games.
Never liked it.
It's either that or Double Dash that I think are playable. To be honest,
Mario 64. I mean, probably next to GoldenEye. That was the most time I spent, especially in like versus like friends and stuff. Like,
definitely, yeah.
That was my most disappointing out of all the N64 games. That was my most disappointed. I was most disappointed in Mario Kart. I did not like it. Never.
You have some weird thing.
It didn't feel like the right. I don't know. I didn't like how it played.
The one thing I did not like about Mario Kart 64 was the fact that your characters were sprites.
Yeah, the sprites and
I liked actually how that looked.
I like how it looks, but it didn't. Over time, it doesn't hold up as well. Where I wished, but I look at like Diddy Kong Racing, I'm like, oh, they're ugly. Like those polygonal figures, they don't look. They don't stand the test of time. So, where I think the Mario Kart sprite characters still look pretty good.
Well,
reminds me of.
Maybe I'll get the N64 Classic Edition and give that.
Oh boy, next year.
They're not going past it. You're not going past N64.
No, N64 will be the end. I think.
You don't think they do like a Game
kind of
Boy?
makes me sad because, like I said, the GameCube is my favorite. But can you just imagine a tiny little cube? That must be so awesome.
It would look cool as hell. That's for sure. It would definitely.
I think like 10 years from now they might do it. You never know.
Yeah, well, I'll be senior citizen.
Yeah, I don't care by then. I'm 50 years old. But the N64 is going to be super expensive because of the controllers, the analog stick.
It's going to be messed up with the controllers.
And then, is it going to have built-in rumble?
It's going to get like 4 controllers.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, these are things you got to think about. Like, how is it going to work practically?
Yeah.
People are just guessing.
It's like people were telling me like on the line they were saying, well, I think it's going to be like $140. I doubt. No
like
way.
12
What
games.
the hell?
There'll be
Like,
12 games.
Yeah, it won't be 20. You can forget about that.
When it comes to Rumble Pack, I'm pretty sure if they would make this console, like they would integrate it into the controller. I think they would do that.
It'd be all one piece.
What would they do with the controller with the memories and rumble, the slot that it goes in?
I think they're just going to
you don't need memory, so.
I know, but would it be? What would they do with the controller to get rid of that hole there?
Just close it, I think.
Oh, maybe they put the Rumble Pack in there to make a Rumble Pack shape or something.
Mm-hmm.
That would fit there, you know. But
you're gonna be like a fucking giant cardboard.
It would be a huge controller.
And it'd be Mario 64, the rumbled version that Japan got. That would be cool. Because we didn't have. Rumble.
Yeah, I have that one.
But if it had that, like in all regions, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
I mean, Mario 64 is obvious. They probably wouldn't be able to do GoldenEye, so that would.
They're going to do Ocarina of Time.
Wave Race too. I didn't realize Wave Race was also got Rumble capabilities in Japan. I have that one too.
Wave Race would be one for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Rare IPs they couldn't, but they could maybe do Donkey Kong 64. Like, what do you think? What do you think? Can we come up with 10 titles that the N64 would?
For sure.
That's a good topic. Let's do that.
Yeah, I think so.
So let me get some paper here.
Star Fox F-Zero.
Star Fox 64 for sure.
Yeah.
Mario Kart F-Zero.
Yeah.
Super Mario.
Smash maybe.
Smash.
Smash has to be on it, you would think.
Oh, of course.
I miss a Wave
That
Race.
game's unplayable.
Ocarina of Time? You think
Ocarina, yeah.
Well, you gotta put Majora's Mask. You gotta put.
I don't think they'll put Majora's though. I don't think.
Why not?
I think
Apparently, it's better than Ocarina.
Yeah, I hate when people say that, but
maybe like a Mario.
A lot of people will still say that. But
a lot of people, I think, man, people say that stuff just to be
which
like.
It's weird because Majora's Mask seems to retroactively got better of a game.
I think Majora's Mask is definitely better than Ocarina of Time, in my opinion. But that's so personal preference.
It's half the game.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Wow.
I
think an expansion pack, man.
Some of the
expansion
ones.
Mario Party, probably one of them.
I can. Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably going to be Mario Party 2.
Yeah. You think? I don't. No, I think 8.
What the fuck?
on GameCube? 8 on.
Wow, that's savage.
8.
I think I forgot one. I did get to write it down. Mario Kart, Super Mario Brothers, or Mario 64, Smash, Wave Race, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Mario Party 2. I feel like
NBA courtside with Kobe Bryant. Yeah, right.
Wait a minute. I'm going to ignore a Pokemon title. What is this shit? All right.
Pokemon Snap? You think they'll do
No.
that?
You can do Stadium.
What about-
You can do Stadium, damn it.
You could do Stadium, but you missing a key feature of Stadium.
Hey man, people, I'll tell you right now, half of what people did was use the in-game rental Pokemon and fucking played the shit out of them and
Do you
played the fuck
think,
out of mini games.
I think all I did in Pokemon Stadium was play the Lucky Tongue game.
Yeah, for some reason, that game, Stadium had like the best mini games, bro. I don't know what the fuck.
Kirby.
Well, you could play
64.
your Game Boy game
Kirby?
on
Kirby
that, too.
64.
Crystal Shards. It's pretty
the
good.
Crystal Shards. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
of
yeah. Kirby 64.
Yoshi's Story.
No.
I think that'd be there.
No Yoshi Story, no.
Like,
I thought people loved that game.
no.
Yeah, it's pretty. It has great sound, but it's such a dud as a
Yeah,
game.
but Kirby would be there because it's
It'd be
Kirby.
there.
They gotta
I think
put
Yoshi and Kirby would both
Yeah,
be.
that would be the filler title.
What about third party?
Are we not past 10 games already? So about the same.
1, 2,
I feel
3,
like
4,
we are.
5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9.
It's probably gonna have one of the great Square
And you put
RPGs.
Smash,
I didn't get that.
Smash is on there.
Okay.
You guys are forgetting. Come on, Mission Impossible. I mean, come on.
Somebody put Superman 64.
0 out of 10.
What about Doom 64? That could be a possibility.
Ooh.
Doom.
It would
64.
be fitting, I guess.
And that's that was an exclusive version that never showed up anywhere else. So.
Oh yeah, these are some great ones here. But Stitched, Snowboard Kids. I think that's Konami, right? Yeah. Cruise and Exotica.
1080 would probably.
Oh wait, but Bomberman.
1080 Snowboard.
Oh, Bomberman. There's like 3 Bomberman games on the N64.
Didn't we have a Castlevania?
Oh god, no. Yeah, we
don't want that trash.
Yeah, it wasn't good. If I remember.
I don't want a cruising game either.
Tony Hawk.
Cruising games, they were fun, but they were pretty crappy.
What about Turok? Do you think they could get the rights to that? Because I know that's,
who has the rights to that?
really put it up. So I don't know. Because a lot of the other games we would name are Rare and Microsoft.
Yeah, they can't use any Rare games.
So no Banjos.
But why not? Don't they have the 64,
no
like
4.
Donkey Kong 64 on it?
Well, that's the only, Nintendo owns Donkey Kong. They don't.
Yeah,
but even Donkey Kong 64 could be.
IP on it.
That could be in question too, because
Banjo-Kazooie.
No, there's other Rare games. Country and stuff appeared on Virtual Console.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but they went away for a minute. I think they came back. People thought maybe it was some kind of.
They had to have some conversation.
With the Rare stuff, it's different because Nintendo actually owns Donkey Kong, but with for example Conker and Banjo, they don't own those rights, so that they couldn't.
Yeah,
well, Microsoft didn't understand that. They thought they had Donkey Kong, so that was funny.
Zoe70 just jumped in. Is this the N64 mini? This is our predictions for the N64 Classic Edition. So anybody. Oh, F-Zero, that's the one I forgot earlier.
I thought I said F-Zero already.
F-Zero,
but that one, I mean, that wasn't a huge.
F-Zero X was awesome.
I know it was, but that would be one of those.
Or maybe
a lot of people
they'll release
a
new.
Cool.
I got it.
Before.
This is it.
Earthbound.
Excite Bike 64. We're done. Thank you.
There's another one.
No, but what if
first party? Not a
what
lot.
What if they continue the never released and finish Earthbound
Paperboy
64?
Robotron 64. There you go. Robotron.
Yeah, maybe is there a
Paper Mario, dude? That's true. That's
well. How did we forget Paper Mario?
Dude, they could legit have 20.
It's gonna be like a Mario box.
Yeah, they could, but I'm thinking like price wise, like if you want to keep, you got to keep this thing under $100. I think. Maybe.
I feel like 100.
Animal Crossing.
No, Animal Crossing.
Got like
it only came out in Japan.
You think like Mario and Paper Mario and Mario Kart and Mario Party and Super Smash Bros. It's gonna be like 100 Mario games.
Now that we've said some other ones, like Mario Party would be a tough one to fit in there.
Wipeout.
I have Wipeout 64. Funny story.
Nice.
Played about an hour of it.
What about Ridge Racer?
I think Paper Mario though. Yeah, I think that would happen.
Stuff like that. GoldenEye. Sorry, Dave, and they don't. That's a licensed product.
That's licensed and it's rare. So that's a lot to get through. I mean, they can't even get that on.
And you couldn't have Pierce Brosnan. You couldn't even have Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, it had to be like they did with that. I don't know.
The Daniel Craig.
Call it a remaster. It would be Daniel Craig.
And that was on the. I mean, yeah, that GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, definitely. Not on the list.
I mean, these are games that define the N64, and sadly,
I know. Unless Nintendo made a deal with Microsoft, but then the N64 Classic Edition is going to start costing even more. So, all right, 1 controller or 2? What should they do?
It would have to be
4. It has to be 4.
4. Yeah, it would be 4. That thing's be $800.
No, I genuinely believe it would be 4.
And the N64 controller is obviously a lot bigger than the Super NES and NES controllers. So that would make the controller even that much bigger than the actual system. Which
and they give you a 1-foot cord on it.
I love the design of the N64. I've always liked how it looked.
Yeah, the console itself.
The console looks great. The controller, in hindsight, didn't. Obviously it was proven you didn't need the 3 prongs to have D-pad and all that, but it worked fine.
But man, it felt like you were holding a gun. That trigger.
I almost never used in the D-pad configuration. Like I played almost exclusively 3D games and used analog stick, which is.
Well, outside of Mischief Maker, 2D games are pretty trash on N64. There weren't many, and they weren't that great. Mortal Kombat Mythologies, anyone?
What do you guys? how do you guys feel about 1080 snowboarding? Because I owned it. I don't know where it is. I don't have it anymore.
Oh, you think about fantasy games.
I always felt like 1080 snowboarding was a little bit overhyped. Like I liked it, but I was pretty bored with it after owning it a couple weeks. Yeah, I was like, there's not much to do here. I don't know. It was weird. I really liked Wave Race, but in Pilot Wings 64, there's another one. Jesus.
Pilot Wings, my gosh.
There's too many. Like I wouldn't.
Is
before
Pilot
we
Wings
started.
on Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Yeah, it started on Super Nintendo.
No, but I mean, like, is it on the Mini? I don't think it is it?
Pilot Wings? It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It is.
All right. Have to be.
I don't think Pilot Wings is on the Mini.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's why it's
crazy.
on the 64.
Why the fuck isn't Pilot Wings on there?
That would be crazy.
I don't think it is. I don't remember it being on there.
I mean, at what point is Nintendo? They're not losing money by adding a few more games. Like it doesn't cost them anything to put Pilot Wings on the Super NES Mini. Like it's so weird to me that it's not a third party game or where they got to share any kind of licensing.
No, it's not.
That's crazy.
What?
That's what I'm saying. It probably wouldn't be on the 64.
A lot of people don't understand that Rare made. I keep seeing Rare games. Killer Instinct. That's Rare owns, and Microsoft owns Killer Instinct. They own Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, Jet Force Gemini, like all these games. That's why we can't say.
We're not using those because you can't. They're not going to.
I mean, they definitely have just first party and a few third parties. They have close to 20. So, and we're talking. You got a lot of people love Mario Kart 64. I can acknowledge that. Super Mario 64, Smash Brothers, Ocarina of Time. There's some major games.
Do we need two Kirby games on NES Mini? SNES Mini?
There's
Not
two.
Really. Yeah, there's Superstar, which is perfect. It's perfect enough to represent Kirby, but they have Dream Course on it too.
Oh, Dream Course is such whatever game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I like it, but it's not. It's not a Super Nintendo defining.
No, yeah, not like Pilot Wings.
Pilot Wings should definitely be on there.
Turtles in Time, obviously, a couple people have said that was a great third party game.
That's another one you run into licensing. Who has obviously Nickelodeon has it now, but Konami made that game, and it's like, what? How do you fix that situation?
I don't know, but there's definitely solid lineup to choose from, and like I said, a few exclusive third parties like Doom 64. I don't think we named a whole lot of third party.
Somebody said if they can get 20 or 25, and this is just hypothetical, obviously.
There's a game
you would basically get every game that defined the N64, because that's it. Apparently, me having as many games for N64 that I have, the rest of them are relevant. And there's only 20 good games on the N64, according to I think that was IGN.
Oh, really?
Those NBC guys talking about.
I only own like 10. It was one of my least supported systems I ever owned.
That was $1,000 worth of video games.
I know. Yeah, like the wrestling games. I mean, a lot of the major memorable games they couldn't have. They just couldn't have them on there. So that would be the big negative for the N64 Classic. They just half the lineup just couldn't be there because of somebody else owns it. So it's crazy. All right, so that was kind of a spontaneous little topic, but that's a good one. I look forward to, by this time next year, trying to get an N64 Classic. I think I would be shocked if they don't do it. Maybe wait a little bit longer. I think the Switch is going to be, obviously their focus. 3DS is going to be pretty much done at this point next year, but there's always room for these little special things. Obviously, they've been able to do it 2 years in a row. So, all right. I feel like, anybody beat Samus Returns other than me and Terrell? I'm not.
Because we the best.
I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Battles. I'm about to finish that game, so
all right.
I haven't had a chance to really get into Samus Returns yet.
I only got the Samus Returns today, so I just started it.
Oh, really? You just got it?
just today came in the mail. I recorded an unboxing for it. I'm gonna upload later.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the game's consistent. Like, I guess there was a point for me where it's like, same fucking Metroid. I got to kill the same one again, but they do towards the end it does change up, and there's some pretty cool iterations later on that I really enjoyed. But definitely a challenging game, but fun. Best 3D. Like I say, other than Avatar the movie in the theater, the Samus Returns is the second best 3D I've ever seen in my life. So that's pretty bold statement, but I stand by it, and I think it's a great game. And unfortunately, it's one of those, like, they design it for speed running too. So I seen somebody beat it in 3.5 hours, and it had a Zero Suit Samus from, what is it, the Smash costume, with the shorts and the midriff tank top or whatever. I don't know what that's called. Her zero suit.
Yeah, zero suit Samus.
I don't know if there's an unlockable with some of those amiibo, which I did see some of those in the store.
It's like galleries. You get galleries. It's not like anything special. I have them. I just haven't.
From the actual specific new ones, don't give you anything.
Oh wait, no, it's hard mode. I think it's like a hard mode is on the because you can use the fusion suit. That's on the that's the squishy Metroid amiibo.
And
then the other one
is Zero Suit. We got like an energy tank from it.
Yeah, I was like, why can't I be Zero Suit Samus? I have the Zero Suit amiibo. I was a little bummed
because you would take like 6 times more damage.
So still, as an aesthetic, it doesn't have to.
No,
you can have it for a hard mode too. Like.
Well, no, if it's Metroid, it's not a fucking aesthetic. That's a life choice, sir. You're gonna take a whole bunch of L's on that one.
Yeah, so I guess we'll wait till you guys get a little more time into it. Maybe we can discuss. I don't want, obviously, no spoilers or anything, but
because
on air. But yeah, just curious what you guys' thoughts. I guess Retro, what's your quick impressions for just playing it a little bit today?
Like you said, with the 3D especially, it's one of the definitely top 5 best 3D, because I always play with 3D. I love the 3D effect, and the depth is insane with this game. It's the type of 3D where some games they use the 3D effect and they split the image and you have like 2 layers, and that's fake 3D to me. This game has the 3D where you actually have a room in depth. Like, it is so good. It controls. I love all the little animations Samus has, like when she shoots and everything. Like the details are so, you can barely tell on the 3DS. It's so small, but they put such great detail on everything, and it plays amazing. The only thing that bothers me a bit, what was it? I don't even remember now. There was one thing. That I feel the counter is something they added to change the game up, but it's a bit broken, I feel, because I'm trying to climb up this ledge, and I climb up, and there's something, it's already started attacking before I climb up. You don't have time to counter. They throw you down again, and then you're surrounded by 3 enemies, and like you miss the first counter, and then you get hit by like 5 enemies because you can't counter it. I think the counter is a bit too pixel perfect done. Like, it's such a thing that I feel the game didn't need it. You could have just made the bullets a bit stronger, and it would have been better. I feel like it looks really cool. And I'll probably get used to it. I just started playing, but
yeah,
I don't like the counter thing.
I was not even, my timing, like, I was terrible at even doing it in the beginning, and then you get so you become like a pro at it. It's not an issue. I will say, in the early goings, a missile will take out most enemies in one shot. So like sometimes there's 2 enemies and they're both kind of coming at you. Best to just like try to take one out quick with a missile, and then
you mean like
use a lot more missiles indeed.
Those rock enemies are like that, where it's like you have to either counter it or just shoot a missile at it.
I just love the idea that you can like lock your shot and like have like all like look all around you and everything. I think that's so well done. The only other thing that, and I really hate this, maybe because I'm a retro game, I don't know, but when you die, it sounds like the dog from Duck Hunt laughing. I absolutely hate that.
I don't know if I get that out of it.
I will say, I don't know what the game runs at, but it definitely looks and feels like 60 frames per second. I don't know. It's one of those, I'm pretty sure it is, but I have no facts to back it up because the animation, everything moves so like
it's
almost realistic.
It's such a fast-paced game. I'm pretty sure it's 60.
She just moves like the best Samus has ever like animated and moved. To me, looks better than Other M. Like,
well, you can tell that this game takes some inspiration from Other M. Definitely, at least in terms of like her combat abilities and stuff. Because even Other M, she was pretty agile and flexible and whatnot.
Dude keeps saying 30 frames per second, but I don't know.
Sorry, I thought it was 60.
Just like the game.
It doesn't feel like 30, or if it is 30, it's locked 30.
For me, it runs super smooth. That's all I need to know.
It's just how quick, like when something's animating and when your character's moving on the screen, like to me, my eyes are like, you know, when you have anyone like familiar with like movies like The Hobbit that they filmed at a super high frame rate.
It was like 48 frames per second.
And it looked just like a home video because
it's awful.
because it moves like more close to, because in real life there's no frames. It's just everything moves, you know. And to me, that's when something jumps out to me. And you know, it'd be if this game really is only 30, then I can pretty much, you know, say that there's absolutely nothing wrong with 30 frames then, because everything moves so quick and fluid and looks so good animation wise. Then you know, I guess I can't say that 60 is the all and be all, because if I think this game's 60 and it turns out it isn't, then that's, you know, obviously proves that.
Poor Peter Jackson thought he was going to revolutionize filmmaking with 48 frames per second.
It's like no one wants to watch a movie that looks like a home video.
Looks like a stage play. It looks like a recorded. It didn't look right.
It's just the thing, film, you know, filters and the 24 frames per second. Just it takes it away from just looking like real and takes you into a different. To me, it helps sell like fantasy and stuff because it feels like a world that doesn't really exist. But anyway,
it plays so smoothly. Like one of my favorite things to do is to like jump off a cliff, and then you can just shoot at enemies while you're jumping down and aim while you're jumping, and then before you fall down, you shoot a rocket backwards. Like I love how dynamic the gameplay is. Like it really transfers really well to the 3DS.
I think people like are obsessed, or even us, we talk about 60 frames because we expect it to not be locked. You know, so if it dips under 60, it won't get to a point where it's like, oh my gosh, noticeably, you know, unplayable or something. Whereas if something's called 30 frames and it dips to like 20, you're like, oh my gosh, look at this you know, JPEG. It just doesn't look right. You can obviously tell like the frames have dropped. So I think we don't appreciate a locked 30 as much as we probably should, you know? I don't know.
Yes, I mean, like I said, like when I looked at like FIFA run on the Switch after watching a bunch of NBA stuff, and I was like to me the players look like more realistic the way they move, even though technically they're less detailed. And I was like, that's what you get with 60, makes things look like on the Wii U, a lot of games to me looked better because they move so fluid and looks, you know, that 60 frames actually just to me makes it look almost more realistic, the way things move. And to me, it brought up some games that maybe didn't have just that raw, awesome visuals, but because of the higher frame, it always looked a little bit better. Like Splatoon 1, to me, like after playing or seeing footage of like, you know, Ratchet and Clank or, you know, 30 frame per second game, and then going back to Splatoon, I'm like, man, why does this look so good to me? And I was like, oh, it must be that 60.
Well, Splatoon 2, you also have it like you're playing like the battles, and then you come back in the plaza, and everything starts moving like trash again because it goes back to the 30 frames. Like, yeah, in the game itself, you know this,
man. That plaza sometimes is like, it's like a slideshow.
So yeah, well, that's interesting because I looked up. Seems like most people are saying it is 30, so I mean, it fooled me, and I'm usually feel like I can tell that stuff, but I guess, you know, your mind plays tricks on you. If you know something up front, you know, it's easier to say, yeah, I knew that. But
well, maybe that's why like Doom and NBA and FIFA, well, not FIFA, but maybe that's why those games still look so good, because they're locked at 30 and they don't really dip under that. And maybe that's
I think it's going to be interesting with Doom, and you know, a game like that's gonna get a price drop. I probably will pick it up someday, you know, when it's cheaper. I'm more concerned with Doom about just how quick and awesome the response is on the controls. Like
the melee stuff.
Can that be as good at like will 30 affect that more than just my eye pleasure? You know, the pleasure of my
eyes. For you, it probably will.
Know?
It probably will for somebody who's gone through that game, especially on a PC or something. It's
because I was watching what's the dude, Switch Force, whatever his name is,
Ghost Robo,
and he had one of the reps play at his little. He got invited to New York and stuff, you know, because million subs and get you some invites, and he had a woman play, and as he recorded, and it was some of the best off-screen footage I've seen in, you know, tabletop mode, but when she would turn, like hit the analog stick, it wouldn't turn like instantly. And I'm like, well, maybe she just has a sensitivity. I know a lot of people that play with sensitivity just super low on first person shooter games, and then there's people that have it so high, like I can't even like, how the fuck do you even play that? Like that's ridiculous, you know. So that to me is gonna be the make it or break it moment. Like, does it control you know, as good? So that's gonna be the thing. But yeah, what do I'm gonna talk about? There's one other thing I kind of wanted to bring up before we got into the main topic. I was just gonna ask if any of you guys picked up SteamWorld Dig 2, because I beat that game this weekend, and I don't know if anybody else got a chance to pick it up or play it since last week's podcast.
No, don't have the time.
No.
Since last week's podcast, the Golf Story came out. So
Golf Story's out there now.
I don't know why are people so crazy about that game? Like, it looks cool, but it's like
it's because
phenomenon at this point.
The main thing is because you had on the Game Boy, for example, games like Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, like that were like sports games that had like RPG worlds integrated, almost semi-open worlds, and that's just
it's like a spiritual successor.
They're criminally underused, so it's just so much fun to have like a sports game like that where you're free to do what you want. Like, and yeah, the graphics is definitely a charm. Like, it works. Like, it's just fun. It's a really fun game.
I do like that old the bar where you have to hit it twice, you know, for your distance and stuff. You know,
I love Mario Golf, so.
My guy I work with, you know, he bought the Switch. I told the story. For Zelda, he hasn't owned a Nintendo system since the N64, and he was at a lot. Like, he finally beat Zelda a couple weeks ago, and he was just like, "Where's all the RPGs? Like, what do I buy?" And then Golf Story come out, and he's a big PC guy, so he's super excited for Stardew Valley. Just got announced for Thursday's coming out.
5th, yeah.
And so he's all excited about that, and then some other what's the other?
You guys want me to tell you what I got a little excited about? That nobody would ever believe.
What?
Farming Simulator. I totally want Farming Simulator.
Really?
Oh my god, I do.
That's a big seller, and
it is a big seller.
Guy I work with, that's one of his main games. It's just like crazy. So yeah, Stardew Valley gets announced. There was a couple other like indie games got announced for the Switch. I didn't know the game. There was like, it started zoomed in and it said wait for it, and then it panned out and was on Switch. And I was like, yeah,
Darkest Dungeon,
something like that. And so I mean, it seems like every week there's new games.
What are the RPGs? I Am Setsuna.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that. I should point him in the direction of a couple of those games. He doesn't get on YouTube and research, like he doesn't know.
Disgaea 5, there's some good stuff out there.
Yeah, there are several already, and there's a buttload coming still.
Well, what do you think for the guy who likes the traditional turn-based?
What Disgaea 5 would be.
Disgaea? Okay, yeah. I'll mention that.
What traditional turn-based? No, because Disgaea is more like.
Well, it's more.
Disgaea is
more
pretty,
strategy stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of.
If it's actually you gotta go with I Am Setsuna.
I Am Setsuna would be the one, yeah.
And you're gonna get like Lost Sphere. You're gonna get that still, and the Octopath. Like those would be perfect for him.
Yeah, because he really liked Octopath. He's hoping it was coming out this year, but.
And Lost Sphere is January, I think, already.
Yeah, it's early January.
I mean, I know OJ on Twitter, he quoted some dude who was saying that there's nothing to play on the Switch. Like, why are you even acknowledging these?
Yeah, why even like?
Why acknowledge these people, man?
That's so funny because I was just thinking about that. Some guy was in my comment section talking about the Switch has no games. I'm like, get out of here with that. That doesn't work now. I mean, that worked on Wii U, but you can't say that nowhere near anything like that. They dropped like 18 games last week. Get out of here.
And somebody made the great point on Twitter, and let me look to see who it was. They said nobody screaming for Nintendo to be a third-party company anymore. You know, where'd all that talk go? You know, that used to be with the Wii U generation. That used to be just
literally just last year.
God dang it. V Avenger, that's what he calls himself on.
Why is it Red Grunt 34?
No, V Avenger. It's Visor Ed Avenger or something. Just on like Mario Kart and stuff, it's always just V Avenger. But yeah, he said that. Notice the lack of Nindy should go third party headlines. And that's very true. I forgot all about that shit. You know, anyone listening that didn't own a Wii U and has a Switch, you know, you don't understand what the last 4 years basically were like. You know, almost 5 years.
Here comes that back in my day speech going.
It's tough, man. It's tough out here for Nintendo fan for them years, boy.
I know. It's like, yeah, that's all you heard was that they need to go third. If you don't like Nintendo, why do you want them to go third party? That's
why do you even
care? But all right, so if we're talking about dumb comments and stuff, let's get into. I'm gonna break down the title of this podcast for you guys.
An hour into it, but
I didn't really lay it out for you guys that much.
Wow.
I'm
glad he cares.
I'm gonna set this up. Obviously, the 1% thing was just a recent thing. I guess some sales data came from the UK.
Yeah.
And then people are they just couldn't wait to report that the Switch version of FIFA 18 only accounted for 1% of the total FIFA sales in the UK only. And then, so Nintendo Prime, I just started subscribing to this guy. Seemed like a legit, seems like a cool channel. And what's he say? Oh, this doesn't look good. Doesn't even mention the install base of the Switch in the UK, which is like 250,000 or something. That 1% is going against the PS3, the PS4, the Vita, the PC, Xbox 360, and the Xbox One versions combined. So you're talking about
the Vita?
FIFA's always been on the Vita. I guess I didn't look, but
I didn't
Vita
notice.
sells well in Europe. So I was just assuming. Let me double check.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't know FIFA was on the Vita. I've never heard anyone mention it before.
I think I've heard OJ say it's on 3DS. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said I've never heard anyone mention it before.
It's on 3DS. I don't know why he keeps saying that. It's not.
It's got. Oh, I guess this is an older video. Let's see.
It was on the
There's
PSP.
a mod. There's a mod thing.
Yeah, the mod. I don't know if it's
Will
actually.
18 be on the. Okay, so forget the Vita.
Okay.
So, which actually has a pretty decent install base in the UK. So,
yeah.
But you're talking 360, Xbox One, PS4, PS3, and PC versus the Switch. 250,000 install base. So, like someone pointed out, if let's say, I don't know how well FIFA sells in the UK. Let's say the 1 week.
Really?
Let's say the initial. This is just the UK. This isn't Europe. This is UK is pretty tiny compared to all of Europe. 1%. Let's say even if it's 1 million, it's still what? What is 1% of 1 million? 110,000?
No, it's 100,000. Isn't it? No. It is. No, it is 1,000.
Yeah, so it's 10,000. 10,000. Like, what would good first week numbers be for, like, let's say a third-party Switch game in, like, all of Europe would probably be, if it 50,000 would probably be considered pretty successful for the install base. And not one person, I watched 2 videos and I gave them both thumbs down. Not one of the people mentioned the install bases versus the other versions, and they blamed it on the quality, the missing feature of the single player story mode And then one guy even was saying, well, it's only 30 frames and set in 720p on the Switch, which is just a complete lie.
Well, here's the other thing: the game wasn't readily available. I saw reports of the game. Apparently, people couldn't find the game. Like, I'm guessing
that's another thing, but
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's where the 1% of the title using the brain. So obviously, people are looking for. They've just been dying for something negative. France's install base of the Switch is higher than the UK. And then the rest of Europe will have to see. I mean, it's still barely that's like 1% of the global sales. Probably UK probably makes up, I don't know, it's probably more than 1%, but not a huge percentage of global, just out of the UK. Europe itself is a big area, but so it was that, and then the other topic is FIFA and NBA not having any kind of, like, I guess NBA has some weird way to play with a friend in like the playground, like the outdoor.
It's unnecessarily convoluted from what I heard.
And I didn't know, I couldn't get a straight answer because everyone
like NBA playgrounds then.
Yeah. Somebody was saying yes.
We don't talk about that. That brought T's trauma back.
For everybody who said that you could, there was a person said that you can, and it's just in that little outdoor, little like 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3 type of mode.
Like I said, it's overly convoluted.
So the point is that, again, people not really using their brains, in my opinion, is not only it's just, it's Nintendo's crap online. That's one thing. The other thing, well, there's no invite or messaging system, so obviously there can't be a friends lobby argument. And then when you bring up other games have friend lobby, well, what I'm realizing is not anyone who hasn't owned a Nintendo system, and this isn't just one person. I had repeated back and forth in comments. People think that the invite messaging system that's built into like the Xbox One, PS4, like that console feature, and a friends lobby are the same thing. Like, they think that those two are identical, and actually people think that a friends lobby is part of the console's OS, and it works across every game. Like developers don't have to program a friends lobby for, let's say, Destiny 2 versus FIFA. People actually think that the PlayStation 4 handles out the friends lobby in both those games, and the developer doesn't have to do anything. It's just there. So that's those things. Like, I was dumbfounded today. I just could not believe all those things were happening, and it's just like, it wasn't even like, oh, this person's trolling. Like, this person, you can tell a lot of times this person is just trolling. Multiple people think, and even Spawnwave, I don't know how you guys feel about him. Pretty, decent, just delivering the news. It's kind of like Game Explain to me. Once he starts giving his opinions, that's where he starts losing me. He even said that EA would have had to do extra work to add a friends lobby, whereas it's built in to the Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah, that's where I hit back on my on my video viewing of that. I was like, really, bro?
I instantly stopped. Well, I left a comment, then I stopped watching, and that's where I got a lot of...
It's like but he's a guy you expect to know better on that stuff, because
he's tech savvy with the hardware.
Tech talky, so
I don't know if
I was a little surprised by that.
On the software side. So let's start with this whole idea. Well, we had the Wii U. We went through that. We got the Switch so far. Nintendo's paid service obviously is delayed. So let's just start by saying Nintendo delayed their service. So invites, messaging, that stuff, it's all on them that stuff's not on the Switch.
Yeah, they started this because obviously you look at the whatchamacallit, with the phone app, right? I guess people can use that, but I'm sure that's cumbersome as hell to set up.
I honestly don't even think that I wouldn't be shocked if that, because that's a beta.
It may not. Yeah,
that's access to that is not available to third parties. That's
probably isn't.
That's what I'm thinking. But so it's Nintendo's fault that a invite messaging voice chat system isn't done and it's been delayed. So we know that we got the news months ago that was getting delayed, and we all hope it's because they really want to make it right and make it work. So Nintendo usually doesn't delay something and then release trash. And some people's opinions, I guess Star Fox Zero might have fell into that, but most of the time when they delay something, it's for the benefit. So getting that out of the way, don't want to act like Nintendo didn't drop the ball there, so they obviously missed that. But let's talk about, as a lot of us here, multi-console owners, Switch owners, Wii U owners, the whole theory or the whole idea that you can't have a join friends or create match friends lobby system without invites, because to me, I could see that from somebody who's never experienced anything without in-game like system messaging and stuff. But how do you guys feel about a friends lobby? And we have plenty of examples. We have ARMS, Splatoon, Fast, Street Fighter, I believe, Street Fighter 2 Ultimate or whatever it's called, Ultimate Street Fighter. I believe that has friend matches. I'd be shocked if it didn't, because I think somebody would have said something. How do you guys feel knowing that this paid service has been delayed, and that we already know that's a negative and that's Nintendo's fault, but without taking that away, how do you guys feel just about a friends lobby without having built-in game invites and messaging on your system? I mean, just overall in general, how do you feel about it? Let's start with T.
So how do I feel about a company not putting that in?
Just having,
without having the
first. Okay. Let's just talk about games that have a friends lobby, playing with friends on the Switch or Wii U. Obviously doesn't have an invite system. Splatoon 2 kind of does, but it really doesn't. So just as a gamer, you've played on other systems, like how bad do you feel like the online friends lobby system is in its current state on the Switch? Like, is it serviceable? Do you have any problems? I mean, just kind of, I guess, general feelings on let's just take ARMS, Splatoon, and any like Bomberman, like just getting together with friends without having that invite system.
I'm confused, because it's like, are you asking me how do I feel about those games specifically?
Yeah, the games that have a friends lobby without invites, not games that don't have it. You don't have any.
Okay, so ARMS, Splatoon, those are all perfect. I think. I don't know how much better you can, especially ARMS. I don't know how much better you can do than that. What Fast? I don't really remember Fast, honestly.
It works. It's just
it's serviceable, and we're talking about,
and especially because you have other consoles. So I mean, there's some people who never played on a Nintendo system and have always had just like an invite system right there on their system and can't think beyond that.
Well, if you're so I understand if you're so used to that, like, having to do something that's lesser than that could be like, you wanting to kill yourself. If you're just so used to it, I can't say anything bad about anybody who comes from that and has to do something different. It's no different than like these companies where they're used to that certain setup, and then when they get to a Nintendo console, it's different. It's like, but then you look at like Fast and you're like, well, what are they, 8-man, 10-man team?
6, I think 6 or 7 people.
Like, if they can pull it off, you couldn't do it. Like, I just, in some capacity, like even like NBA Playgrounds, I make fun of that. It's atrocious, the friend invite setup, but it works. It's there. It's cumbersome as hell, but if even those guys can pull it off, But yeah, I like I said, I can't say anything bad about anybody who's used to that, because you just, it's like if you buy a vanilla ice cream, you bite into it and it tastes like chocolate. You're like, what the hell is this? Mm-hmm. You probably would be upset about that. So I can't really say anything about it.
Somebody in the chat just brought up another point. Like, did you not understand? I mean, some people just can't accept that the Switch doesn't have it yet. Like, I guess if you can't accept that,
well, I don't know. Yeah,
I can't convince you that Nintendo dropped the ball. It wasn't ready. So, it's one of those things. Just like Splatoon, do you launch, or Smash Brothers on the Wii U? Do you launch the game and then add stuff later, or do you delay the game? So would they delay the Switch for online stuff, or launch it when it was ready, or launch the system and then wait for the online stuff to be ready, because they're starting from ground zero. So
they obviously made the best choice. I mean, it's not a situation where the Switch obviously wasn't ready. It didn't have all this stuff, but it's not like it's red ringing. It's not like where they knew this thing was going to fail, 30 to 50% of the time, and they still put it out there. This is a feature. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they obviously made the right decision to put it out there, but in doing so, stuff wasn't ready. So,
yeah, I think it was. I think it was the right call, and I guess I just can't comprehend like why an on screen, like somebody send me an invite, makes any difference at all. Because the last time that happened, Terrell, I was playing. I don't even know if I was playing in Splatoon 2, and you wanted to test the app or something, and I got an invite, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of something. I was playing Mario plus Rabbids. Like, let me share a story, because I don't want people to think that I'm just this Nintendo guy. Like, Xbox 360 was my main console for about 2 years, like 2009 to 2011. I played a few Wii titles, obviously, that came out, some of the big ones. I would say until the Wii U came out, my Xbox 360 was my main console for about 2.5 years. And I played every Call of Duty. And there was a time, I think it was Black Ops and Modern Warfare 3, where I probably played an average of 4 hours a day, and like 8 to 10 on the weekend. Like, I was all in with Call of Duty for that short span. That's why the Wii U really saved me. The Wii U really saved me as a gamer. I was really lost. But all right, so
praise the water.
I was doing YouTube. I was doing the motorcycle motovlog stuff. I had a lot of quote unquote friends in that community. Everybody I knew had an Xbox 360 at work, and we do game nights and stuff. We were always playing Call of Duty. I can tell you almost, I can't account for everything. I just wasn't paying attention enough to remember that, but I can tell you almost never just used a game invite without first having called or messaged my friends, hey, want to play Call of Duty at like 6? Like, that was always the first step. Mm-hmm. I call my best friend, call him up. Hey, you want to play some Call of Duty? Yeah, I'm eating right now. I'll be on in about half hour. Once everybody got on their system, then yeah, you could, like, to get the party for those games, like we always got in parties like 4 or 5. Someone sent me an invite, I'd hit the home button and I would join. I was waiting for it though. Like, this whole invite without already having established you're going to play is a concept I just cannot get in my head. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I'm totally with you, but here's the thing. We can all get together. Oh yeah, we want to play. You want to play? I have your phone number, or we're on Google, or whatever. What do you do when you don't have that stuff? When you just know somebody through the video game console? What do you do then? Because on Switch, you can't even message them, but I say, hey, be on. We'll get on and play this.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about people who just.
That's the difference, I think.
People who just add people that they don't.
Right, people who just add friends and you want to play.
I'm talking about actual friends and people I know through doing YouTube. So I guess if you just add people on your friends list and you don't have any other way, like you don't know them any other way. But what if their game, or they don't even have their system on? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess
I'm telling you from the Xbox dudes I know, like going back to, there was no YouTube in 2003 on Xbox, when the Xbox was popping with Live when it first came out. So those guys made friends. I did a little bit too, but you made friends on there, and that's only the way you knew them, and you exchanged information through that, through the messaging or whatever.
Yeah, I guess I added some friends that way.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to play? Let's say, all right, I play with my buddy, and then a couple of his buddies play with us, and then they send me a friend invite. I added them. I didn't go out and search to play with them when my buddy wasn't on. Like, I never wanted to play with somebody as a friend that I didn't know because I wanted.
And I'm completely the same as you are. But what I'm saying is there are people who aren't that way, and it surprised the hell out of me too. I didn't know that was a thing until maybe 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. It's like, oh, people
and it's just one of
really
those
get into this stuff, and I didn't know.
I guess if everybody's already got their system on and stuff, then yeah, if you don't communicate with somebody another way. So Robert, Terrell, you got any experiences either way?
For me, it's just I never used like friend invites like that. When I play a game, for example, Splatoon, or even on PC when I play like Borderlands or Sanctum, shit like that, I'm in game. And in game, it says somebody wants to join me, and then they join and we play together. That's how I do it. It's not because if I'm, for example, playing Zelda and somebody would drop, yo, come play Splatoon, I'm like, no, fuck, I'm playing Zelda. I turn my Switch on to play Zelda. It's not like I'm turning it on to see who's playing what, to see who I can join. That's just not how it works for me. So I have less input with the friend invite thing because I just don't use friend invite shit in that way. Like, I don't see. I'm like as confused as Steve when the topic started. It's like, what can you say about it? Because it's such a weird issue anyway.
Like, yeah, I'm reading this chat. This dude doesn't believe that like we use a phone or messaging like Twitter or Google to like say, hey, want to play later? Like that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
How do you know to play with somebody? Like you always on your system? I don't understand how you even set up.
That's the thing, yeah. Like what you said with Splatoon, for example. There's 2 chicks. We always have a team. We always play Splatoon together. I go on Facebook, want to play? Okay, and then we go to the Switch. Like I said, I don't turn on my Switch to see if they are on the Switch and then to join the game and send an invite. Like that's just not how it works for me.
But what I'll say is that I used to use the 360 for an invite system, the parse, all that kind of stuff, a lot. Recently, now, I mean, I just use Hangouts with you guys, because to me, it's better. Like you said, you're not always on your system. So it's like,
yeah, I'm with you. Like if I'm in the middle of a game, like, and you pop up and try to invite. There's plenty of times, especially when I play like Bayonetta on a Wii U, and people were trying to, invite me to, to do the multiplayer or whatever. I'm like, man, I'm trying to enjoy my game here. I got time for that right now.
It could just be a completely different mindset of gamer.
Yeah, it's a different.
Are you getting on to just play as in a social setting? I guess, but go ahead, Troy.
I was gonna say because my whole thing was that this only really was a thing in the last generation and probably maybe a little. And I probably wouldn't even say anything for like PS2 and Xbox and stuff. But like I owned a Wii exclusively until 2010, and then I got my PS3. And even on my Wii, when people wanted to message me, that's literally when I first started using YouTube. People would be like, "Oh, you have a Wii? Let me get your friend code," and then we would play like Naruto on online because you couldn't play Smash Brothers because that was some online trash. And then when I got my PS3, when Marvel's Capcom 3 first came out, and I was playing that, I would get messages all the time. But those were from people I added to my friends list because they knew me on YouTube. Like I didn't have, and even then it's like, well, fuck, I'm in the middle of, I'm playing Catherine or Bayonetta or another game or Batman. I didn't want to deal with that shit. But then again, I am a hermit by nature, so I can't. I may not be the best example, I guess.
I'm with and not until YouTube did I start adding people that I didn't quote unquote know. It wasn't until I got a channel and started interacting with way more people than ever. I started adding people like that.
I can't believe you just hoping that people are on their system, this person's on, I'll send them an invite. I guess that an option, and that's
because people don't have other hobbies.
Yeah, I guess.
And it works. I mean, it does work. I don't always ignore the invite. Sometimes maybe I just jumped on the thing, and I was like, all right, I'll play a couple games with you online.
I guess. I mean, that happened a few times. I used to get.
But I would rather it be a scheduled thing, because my time is very scheduled, so it's hard for me to just be spontaneously.
Well, especially if you haven't played the game in a while, you finally get on it, and the first thing you see on your system is, "Hey, you want to play a game with me?" And you're like, "No, bitch, I just got on the console. I want to play my own game.
I need to practice."
That's also because a lot of the games I played were solitary games anyway, so it was like. I didn't necessarily want to jump on a multiplayer focused game just to play with you.
And that did get a little old when I was trying to play like Dead Space, and I kept getting Call of Duty invites to play Call of Duty, and it's like,
you just ain't got no patience for people.
And it's just like,
dude, I'm not even on that
3 or 4 in like a 5-minute.
I'm not even playing the same game.
And it's like, that's when I realized I had an epiphany, and I've shared this story before, but I had an epiphany that these people were they just wanted, it was just social to them. They didn't really even care about like playing the game. Like whoever was on, they knew, and they would, that's who they were playing with. And it's like, they didn't, at some point you could tell no one was even paying attention to the game. And that's when I realized, like, these people aren't gamers. Like, they just want to chat. They want to fucking bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they use Xbox and PSN as a place to socialize. Because, like I was saying before, and I wasn't trying to throw shade when I said it, some people legitimately don't have any fucking hobbies. Yeah. And some of them literally, their only interaction with other people and their only like shared thing is gaming. So they'll just start adding a bunch of people they ended up playing with in Call of Duty or Madden or whatever they're playing, and create friendships like that. To me, that's kind of what the Xbox fans are like.
Yeah, that's what it came from. That's what.
They were just a bunch of dudes that happened to be on the same game. They added each other, and then they became friends.
A lot of them are gossip girls anyway, so. Look at the YouTube channels.
Hey, man,
I'm throwing shade now.
Man, you'll get us in trouble.
I asked the question, like, what happens when you're not on your system? And they're like, well, why would they?
That's I'm like, the internet. That's when
I know there's people on your friends list. I know some people have, like, I have people on my friends list I only know through they're commenting on YouTube, on the podcast, or Twitter, tagging me on Twitter or having a conversation. I don't just have anybody on my list that I can't get in contact with or haven't already chatted with. That's kind of my policy. So I guess if you just, hey, I played with them, I'm going to add them, then obviously you can't play. But my point is, I would hope that you guys were like, hey, let's play some Splatoon. You're not just gonna, well, Juice ain't on, so he ain't playing.
Yeah, like what I'll say.
Right, I'm running to you guys first. Like,
yeah, like what I'll say is, like, I'll be like maybe at the movie theaters or something. I think I get a message. Hey, anyone want to play Splatoon tonight? Yeah, sure. And then I play tonight. It's better that way than it's just like, let me wait till someone gets.
I wonder if that's the difference between.
Well, you guys have the best friend star on Twitch, so.
Well, I guess I can give a PC related example. Back when I was in high school, me and one of my female friends, I don't remember what it was, but it was like this weird multiplayer Final Fantasy, like 8-bit version of the game we used to play, and I don't remember what it's called. And we ended up making like a few friends on that. But it was never one of those things where it was like we would happen to be online and we would be messaging them in the chat, go, hey, are you online? Let's play together. But like that was also during the age in which people didn't share, that was like early social media. So like you didn't have other ways. Like, yeah, I get it that's a thing that nowadays you kind of need your console to have to an extent. But also we're in an age in which literally you can share a Twitter, a fucking Facebook, like any other way of contact. So it's not literally, it's just like we got to play once together, and I just got to let you know once. Here's my Twitter, DM me, or here's my Google Hangout, like that. Like it's not as necessary.
That was a dark age of social gaming. No, there's way too many ways to contact people.
I guess
you got on Yahoo chat.
Probably older than some of the people I'm debating with here, and you would think they would be like, "Hey, Dinosaur, you don't have to just wait till your friends are on their systems to play games with them. Like, you can message, there is social media. Like, that's what I would expect."
It's surprising because you would expect, younger people, younger games especially, to be more into that than like doing the archaic thing of sitting around on their consoles.
And again, if the Switch and Nintendo didn't have to delay their online, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We acknowledge that they missed the deadline and they had to delay it, and that's Nintendo's fault. That's on them. But I was just stunned by the amount of people who exclusively use the console's invites to play with their friends, and the idea that you can't have a friends lobby without invites. That was the thing that really stood out.
Well, let me just say,
retro.
The concept is just strange to us. Some people are still going to get butthurt of what I'm going to say now, but we have friends, we have circles. For example, we have each other. We talk everywhere. I have like my brother online, unless on Facebook. I have some friends that I know via this and that, So we're connected with actual friends, people we actually know. We are not those kinds of people that have like those Facebook profiles, for example, with 2,000 friends on there that you don't know. And that's what these people, that's why the concept of fucking phone and Twitter is so hard for these people. They have like these Xbox profiles with 1,000 friends and they maybe know 3 of these people. So they need to have their console on 24/7, else they won't catch anybody because they're not actually their friends.
That is a good point.
And Mohammed, the known Xbox lover, he said Xbox Live /Smart Glass is the definitive way to message people. So you're using your phone with Smart Glass, right?
Yeah, it's
you and 3 other people who actually still use Smart Glass.
But still,
sorry, Mohammed.
This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox mainly Xbox guy saying he uses his phone, and I've also seen a lot of people. I've already had my controller in my hand. Why would I need to pick up my phone to message somebody to play? It's like, are you serious? What? You don't have your phone in your hand constantly? Like, what?
You don't have your phone in your hand when you're driving your car?
You do. Everybody does. No, you can't because they'd be dead if that happened.
Everybody does that. Yeah. They shouldn't do it, but I see everybody with their phone.
Everybody has their phone. They check it 80 times a day. It's
the toilet. They're on the toilet. They got their phone.
Yeah. No, that's what I was gonna say. Is because like Gamer Talk says, well, why would you want it? Someone to tell you when you're not on to say if you want to play. It's like. The thing is, it's just like anything. Like you get a text, like it's just, hey, you want to hang out? Hey, you want to play? Like it's the same thing.
Not even a text. You get, if you're a YouTuber, especially, you get Google notifications of somebody saying, whatever on your video. Maybe they sent you a PM. It could be anything. So all that happens through your phone or your whatever your smart device might be of choice. But it makes in this world. People are glued to their phones. That's the one thing they have all the time, everywhere.
Yeah,
and
I
it
really
makes way more sense to have stuff integrate through that.
Yeah, I agree.
And we'll judge it once it's fully like a messaging system, everything on the Switch. The the beta version is very basic and stuff, but I like how it's instantly synced between the console because as soon as a match ends, it's on my phone. Shows me that match and shows me the stats like it's instantly, and I like that idea, and I just hope when that's fully implemented, the messaging and all that, that it's like that, like it's almost like it's directly connected to your Switch, and it's if it works as good as I think it's going to, then I'll just use the Switch app instead of Hangouts and Twitter to message you guys, but I'm still going to be using my phone. And I don't know. Some people just really can't get over that. I guess
I don't get it. I'm always using my phone. Always. I don't understand.
Some dude in the chat, or not, one of the comments, said that he's never used anything other than the console's messaging and invite system ever to play with his friends. And I'm like, that's not even possible. Then I was like, well, like, but maybe it's like Retro just said, they're not actually his friends. They're just on his friends list, people he plays with.
Yeah, maybe they.
I mean, there's also, especially if it's online, there's time zones. I live in a completely different time zone from you guys. If I would only use my console, if I'm online at night from like 20 to 22 or some shit like that, you guys are never going to be there.
Never be on the same time, ever.
But if you said something to me, hey, on Saturday or whatever, you want to play earlier in the day and get some time, I would. Like, I'm always waiting. Like, if you guys ever want to play, like, just send the message. If sometimes I'll send it and like, I'm working, or T's like, I'm going out, and it's like, it doesn't happen, but there's no harm in asking. I'm literally telling you, 8 years ago, I would call my buddy on my way home from work, say, hey, I'm going to be eating. You want to get on Call of Duty about 6 o'clock? And he's like, sure, or no, I can't. And then I would just start playing. I'd say, hey, join me when you get on. I mean, I almost never used a game invite. Like, it's crazy that, I don't know, maybe
I don't think I ever used a game invite in my life. And I have these consoles.
On the Xbox, so there was the party, and so you could. The only way you could get into a party, because I don't think you could just randomly join when you have to say, hey, send me an invite. But, and that was a different scenario. PS3 didn't have that. option. So it was just like you had to like my PS3 buddies. I always just we had to mess each other. So I know it's crazy to actually be able to get on Twitter and send somebody a message because somebody's like, I don't know these people. Like, I don't know anything personal about these people. How can I call them? I don't have their cell phone number. Like, seriously? Like, you like that's a negative that you can contact somebody in this day and age? Like, that's
I like to keep them at an arm's length. I don't really want to be friends.
We don't
with
trust these hoes out here. That's what it is, man.
That's crazy. But
see, I'm a dinosaur in that way. Where to me, that whole, just randomly linking up with people in the video game console is just strange to me. It always has been, and unless like I know you through way more interactions than just like the video game console, then like inviting people like that's just something that's not me. I guess I'm kind of private that way, but like that has never been an issue for me as far as like.
Yeah, I don't like to add people on the Switch if I don't know who they are on Twitter or YouTube. I mean,
because it's going to be very rare that we actually play.
Yeah, what's the point? So let's talk about, what I kind of tried to get T to talk about was just not having that invite system. And there's so many examples of us just playing Splatoon or playing ARMS, and all of a sudden the whole lobby is people I know. Like, it's so easy just to have a join friends option. And just like, obviously those games are just little 3-minute matches, whereas like a full soccer basketball game would be different, but the concepts still would work the same. Create a match or create a lobby, join friends. Obviously you'd have to let somebody know ahead of time or just wait somebody would join you. But let's talk about EA and 2K not having just even the basic join friends or create a friends match and wait for friends option, and the people really just blaming Nintendo. Obviously, like I said, the invite system and everything's been delayed, so that's their fault. But how is EA how do they not have a friends lobby in FIFA 18, a game they really put their full effort towards on a Nintendo system? But Fast RMX, and it wasn't there at launch, but those were launch titles. So this isn't a launch title. They've had dev kit, I guarantee you, from at least about a year now. So where do you guys land on this? Like, Nintendo's fault, EA's fault, both? Terrell.
It's EA's fault. I mean, look, I understand. Listen, if the online was bad and the online connection was shitty, okay, fine. You could say part of the blame on that one could be Nintendo because the netcode. It could be the netcode either on EA's part or it could be the fucking the way the online system is set up on Nintendo's part. But friend lobbies is a fucking feature in the game that they coded. Like that's not a Nintendo's hardware. No, don't give me that shit. I don't even remember if we could do that in the Wii U version of NBA we got. But that's not a Nintendo issue. That's a part of the game that should have been there in general. It's like people sitting there going, "Oh, FIFA is a game we should support, and it's missing all these fucking features." Oh, is that Nintendo's fault that the game is missing features? No, that's EA's fault because they didn't put the features in the game. Whether for whatever reason doesn't fucking matter. Whether it was development time or whatever. The point is, it's not in the fucking game, and they're the ones who made the goddamn game. Connection issues, fine, I get that. But in that situation, making the lobby, no, fuck that. That's on them. That's all on them.
And I mean, it's hard to say this with certainty, but I strongly feel if Splatoon 2 didn't have the option to play with friends, that would have been a hard buy for me. I don't even know. I know the single player was pretty good, but I was kind of on the fence. If that was like, hey, you can just play with randoms, we don't have a friends option to play with friends.
Fuck you.
I think that's a no buy. Like, I mean, it's hard to say definitively, but it really feels like a no buy.
Well, the first game didn't even do that.
I know the first game had it.
First game had to get patched with that as a feature later on.
Well, they patched in the what do you call it, the ranked friends, but it had join friends from day one.
And it was a new game. We didn't know what Splatoon was at the time. You know, it was like it was a new thing. Now, going with the knowledge that you knew about Splatoon, for this one not to have it, Splatoon 2 not to have it.
Well, even if Splatoon 1 didn't have the option to play with friends, I wouldn't have.
Well, obviously, that was still a. I'm just saying, you got to look at it with some nuance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I probably picked ARMS instead of Splatoon 2 since that was an established game with art. But FIFA is an established franchise with Friends Lobby. Mm-hmm. Now, somebody else pointed out, well, it's like Spawn Wave, it's extra work. Well, when FIFA 14 launched on the PS4, Xbox One, those were new consoles, and they both had Friends Lobbies with new systems. They had to program and code for a new Friends system on the PS4 because they didn't have it.
What did you say, Juice? Did you say it's extra work?
so
hard out here for a video game developer. Man.
But the point is, like, for me, I was almost like, I was thinking of running to Best Buy. I ain't gonna lie.
And do what?
And pick up FIFA 18.
Oh, how dare you!
I'm seeing it. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with how it looks. I like that it runs 60 frames. It looks really good, and it brought back some fond memories. And I was like, you know what? It looks like a good version. Like they did everything. The game's on the cart. You don't have to download nothing. The save files aren't 5 gigs. Like I was like, you know what? I think I can support this. And like that day, like later in the day, I find out no Friends Lobby, and it instantly went to a no buy.
And then you heard that Price is Right sound. Boom, 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 boom.
So, and it's not like I would play a ton of it with friends, like, because I know no one else, a few other people probably get it, you know. It'd be one of those occasional things. And then, like I said, last week I was talking about having another game when my buddy comes over that we can play on the same, like at the same time on the same TV. Another game. So I was looking for a third-party game to buy. You know, I was looking for, all they had to do was just pretty much parody. Like I didn't care about the story mode in a soccer game or football, wherever you're at. I didn't care about that. So I was just like looking at the game, has, you know, good modes. The game looks good. To me, it looks, I can't say that it doesn't look closer to as close to the PS4, Xbox One as NBA. Like to me, it looks like a really good game. And I was really ready to support it. And then it's like, it's just goes back to that Wii U. What do they call somebody that's like gone through like trauma or something? I was just like, you know, a dog that's been beaten and then it gets a new owner and it's still like gun shy anytime you move your hand and stuff. Like I was just like a battered Wii U owner. Like I instantly went back to that GIMP ports kind of mentality, and I was just like, you know,
PTSD or
something, yeah, post-traumatic stress. Like I was like, no, like fuck you. I was so disappointed. So I know, Robert, you don't do it, like you were never getting FIFA. I know you're still, last I knew, getting NBA. Does that impact you knowing that you can't play with friends at this point?
Oh, I mean, it's a huge impact because I wanted to verse T and beat him so bad in 2K18. Like that was like one of the biggest reasons.
That was a big thing. Me and Robert were go at it.
Remember when we were playing Playgrounds? We're like, well, don't worry. Next month we got NBA. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then look at this.
And it's worse.
Maybe they'll patch it in.
Well, they already had to put in. They already got a patch set up ready.
I guess there's other.
It'd be worse than Playgrounds. That's just
like how does that happen? And it's like, damn, man, that sucks. Because I would have gladly taken, even if it was the damn Playgrounds thing where you have to enter a code and then they enter a code and then you could play. Like, fine.
Come on, baby.
No, that was not fine, Robert.
You know, well, I mean, it's better than nothing.
You take it,
as a guy, I remember T that night. That was not even close to me.
It was funny.
Like a 4-digit, like that's just ridiculous.
No, it was your own
do that
password
now for private matches.
They did a password.
I mean, you can put a password in. Just have Friends Lobby, you enter, join friend, or create match. Create match with code or no code. Like that's all you need.
Yep, that's all you need.
And then for the meantime, until the paid service is done, and let's just hope that that's a really good service and there's no major issues, like for especially like games like this, and that alleviates that. But to me, and I want to get Retro's take on this. Like, I'm just the defense of these third parties and the blame going all on Nintendo from multiple YouTubers, multiple gamers, and it to me, it's just why is EA getting a pass? I don't understand. So, what do you think, Retro?
The worst country or the worst country, worst company?
Oh no, we are the worst country
every year.
I mean, especially when you have games like NBA and FIFA. This is like the basic of the most basic shit that should be in these games. This friend lobby ID, and I think that EA blaming Nintendo because they don't have a friend lobby is such a cool comparison. I used it before already. That's like the people from Horizon Dawn blaming Zelda because their character can't climb in the game. It's like it doesn't make any sense. You create the game. This is nothing that Nintendo could have the greatest network on this fucking planet. If you don't allow friend lobbies, then that is not up to Nintendo. It's not like, hey, Nintendo, yo, we finished FIFA. We're gonna send you the game. Could you like program some friend lobby in there? That's not how it works. It's like I don't understand how people can even consider that that's how it works.
The only way that I could come to that conclusion is if, like I said earlier, I got the feeling that people think that invites and messaging and friends lobby are the same thing. Like they don't believe, like they don't see that invites, messaging, that's an application on the OS, and a friends lobby is part of the software of each game. Like that's
but it's not. Take for example the best example that you can find. Pick Animal Crossing. It doesn't need any bullshit. Everything is in the game. You can literally chat in the game. For example, it's in the game. It's not because of the 3DS allows some weird shit, that's into it. The game does it. Like if the basic function isn't in the game, why do you start working on like the program around it? It is not. It's not in your game, and that's where the story ends already. There's no blame to put, for example, on Nintendo because the basic of what you need for this to work is not in your game.
Yeah, because the Switch has, I don't know, these people don't understand the Switch has a friends list like system, like it's built into the console, and that's all you need to have join friends, create match, and we've seen it. Fast RMX, launch games didn't have it. They added it later. NBA took forever, and it turned out bad, but Bomberman had it. Mario Kart 8, obviously, ARMS, Splatoon 2, I guess, Xenoverse, Street Fighter, they all have it. And it's like, there's no excuse for EA and 2K to not have it for these games. That's a pretty big part of the game.
It's not like the Wii U where you had to, launch an app to see if your friends were on. You know that right away. You can go right
it's got on screen. So-and-so pops up. Shadow Fox playing Ultra Street Fighter pops up every time I turn it on.
You're fucking terrible.
Oh man!
I think it's like what Juice said. It's like people, FIFA, EA kept claiming we went all out with this FIFA, greatest like handheld FIFA ever, whatever. It's like, but you're not going all out. People are blinded by the fact, like what Juice said, that at this point FIFA and the NBA, what they're doing, they're exactly the same as what the Wii U got in the beginning. They're like fucked up ports.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of upset. I did my Juice opinions. I'm like, these are. And I obviously laid into 2K more because of the whole 5 gig save file and the physical having to download stuff. But to me, I forgot about Sniper Elite when I said this, but I said, like, to me, like 2K is as just as gimped as any Wii U game. Like, it's there's so many issues.
See, it's like
I was trying to think what was gimped on the Wii U, because the Wii U had comparable. Usually frame rate, well, it might have had dips, but like it was a 360 PS3 it was going against, so everything was the same except for mostly features and price and release date. Those were what we considered gimped. Okay, it's missing this feature, it's $10 more, and it's 6 months late. So to me, when I put everything together,
3 strikes, you're out.
I'm feeling they delayed the physical, the whole download, the 5 gig save. That's 20% of your internal memory. Like in no friends lobby. Like to me, like that's as gimped, if not more, than anything on the Wii U, other than Sniper Elite, which I forgot about, which had no modes. shouldn't even been released on the Wii U. But
and
anyway.
with the Wii U, which is part of that whole gun bullshit, is almost no third-party game got all the DLC that everything else got.
Mm-hmm. Which I always found funny that people complain like, no DLC. Like I always thought we didn't like DLC, but that was one of those when we were getting used to good DLC because I was so used to bad DLC. But anyway, somebody else started talking. I kind of cut him off. I don't.
Oh, it was just me. I was going to go into my assessment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty quick. I don't blame Nintendo. I don't blame EA or 2K. I blame this backwards ass video game industry we have right now. And this is that time, Terrell, where I bring up a video that I'm producing.
now he's gonna fucking name drop me and shit. He's like, hey Terrell, guess what? I got a new video out. You should go watch it.
Terrell's approval here. This is how it is. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. I'm using this as a grocery store analogy. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, as far as being the grocery store analogy, is the shelf, and the can of Del Monte or the can of Van Camps or whatever is these gaming companies, the third parties, right? We're in a situation now where the shelf is having to pay to have the product put on them instead of the other way around. Mm-hmm. You used to, the product comes into your store and they pay you for that shelf space. Well, now we're in a situation where the companies are catering to the product, and it's like it's completely backwards. And so you have the situation where these guys are used to these things given to them. They're used to the grocery store advertising for their product. Like what? Like that is, to me, that's insanity. And that's where we are right now. So that's why we have these issues where it used to be the company would cater to and the individual, manufacturer would cater to whatever's happening on Sega Genesis. That's what we got to adhere to. Whatever's happening on Super Nintendo, that's what we have to adhere to. And that is all backwards now. Now it's like you console makers have to mold yourselves to fit what we want. And that's why it's all jacked up right now. So everybody takes blame, but at the end of the day, this industry is so out of whack that this is why we are where we are. So that's it. That's my
true. And I was gonna to take a shot at Nintendo. I was gonna give an example. EA not putting a friends lobby and people blaming Nintendo for that would be like blaming Walmart or Best Buy when you bought a Nintendo 3DS, new Nintendo 3DS, and it didn't have an AC adapter, and you'd be mad at Best Buy. Why doesn't this have a AC adapter? This is bullshit. No, you'd be mad at Nintendo because I still think that was a ridiculous, and if I didn't get one for $5, an official one, I'd probably have been pissed too. But it just turned out I had a second one anyway. But anyway, that example, Nintendo's at fault for not having an AC adapter, not Walmart and Best Buy. So why is EA not at fault for not having an option in their game that's obviously the system supports, has a friends list, has recent players, has ability to add friends from recent players, has everything except for the invite and messaging system, which is coming later, which, Nintendo's fault there. But how is it not EA's fault that they didn't take the time to put what would seem to us without knowing? Obviously, some companies have struggled, but other companies have done it fine. Like, how could they not have it and at least not even address it? Hey, we're bringing it later if that was their plan. There's just no talk. Only playing with randoms, and that to me is just ridiculous. And I think it's going to hurt the sales of this game. It was funny how it didn't get mentioned much when NBA came out. I just feel like because 2K's they're in a higher standing with gamers than EA, obviously, so I can understand. But I can't accept that it doesn't have it, and then that people blame Nintendo for that specifically. Obviously, the invite and everything's part for some people, but knowing that that's coming later, like to me, it's like, yeah, we know it's coming later. Why isn't a basic version there now? And I'm kind of glad because that saved me $50 from buying a game I probably didn't really want, but I was feeling compelled to support. So it kind of saved me there, them fucking up. So what the hell's that? So let's go. We're talking about FIFA. Let's end on this. Like what I kind of started with was the 1% UK. Only 1% of the FIFA sales were for the Switch. Like I said earlier, just the UK, they have like less than 300,000 Switches compared to all the other consoles combined. And then people reporting this like it's doom and gloom. Like, doesn't this feel like that feels a little bit more like the Wii U era, where this news, which is probably going to be nothing when you look at the rest of the regions, Japan and everything. What do you guys think? I mean, is this something we should just ignore these people, or is this people just been waiting for some negative news, and could this?
Well, of course. I mean, it's time to pounce on. Nintendo's been riding the gravy train for too long. The honeymoon is over. we gotta pounce on them when we can. So a lot of that is that. A lot of this is that, and that's gonna
it's just
happen.
a dumb thing anyway. It's like, because like we said, like the UK, that's like, England and Ireland and that kind of shit. There's like one or two countries. That's like saying, oh, the Switch only sold like 10,000 units in total in Alabama. It's doomed. It's like, well, what the fuck is that? You can't take like one state in America, for example, as a whole thing, and that's the same thing here. Like there's like 700 million people or some shit in Europe. I don't know exactly. Europe is fucking huge technically. The UK is really fucking goddamn tiny. It's a very small percentage. Just like I said, you don't take one or two states from America in a graph like that. So the whole 1%, it is so stupid. Like, I don't even understand why people bring that up. The people always like to take the UK as a separate market, like it's this giant market, but it makes no sense when you think about it. Like, I just don't understand why people always take the UK apart from everything else. Like, people don't go, oh, it sold 50,000 in New York. It must be pretty fucked up. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great comparison, because a lot of people don't realize, the UK is basically a couple states out of, many countries are about the size of a lot of the states in the United States. I don't know how many countries total. There's a lot in Europe, and I think the population is even higher than North America.
It is.
So it's a big area, and the UK is just a small part of that. And we know Europe is definitely the biggest when it comes to FIFA. It's like 40% of FIFA sales come from Europe, the region, not the UK. So like, if the whole region was low, but even then you're talking about install bases. I mean, it's back to the Wii U conversation where no one acknowledged install base. And how well did FIFA 14 sell on the PS4 versus the PS3 and Xbox 360 version that year, I wonder? Probably better, because it seemed like some of those games, the PS4, there was really nothing to play, so some of those games jumped out and sold pretty big in the first year on the PS4. But it's just kind of one of those things. It's like, are you serious? Like, you're not even going to mention the install base in the UK that it's combined against all these other systems? Like, that's just going back to the whole journalism. Like, if IGN posted, like, I'm gonna go on their site right now. If that's an IGN headline, then suppose a journalist, and then you can really, then it's a problem. If they haven't, then we're not quite back to the Wii U type era, which I'm not seeing any headlines. So that's good. I mean, you gotta give. I would hope that wouldn't have been one of their top stories. So anybody else have any thoughts on that?
No.
I think, well, just to end on that percentage thing, I think if people want to like separate Europe, you gotta at least wait until most people from the European Union, if those countries if you have the sales of everybody, like you take like the UK and you take like the Netherlands and Germany and Spain and France, when you have the biggest countries like that are really the market when it comes to soccer, then you can cry about the percentage. But don't use like 5 people when there's like 1 million people in your graph. Like it makes no sense. People need to be more patient with that kind of shit.
Yeah, it does remind me of the whole Lightning Returns outsold. Was it 3D World? I don't remember that. I think it was 3D World. Lightning Returns, one of those games, outsold a Wii U game in its first week, like 3-1.
About Knack?
No, it was Lightning Returns on the PS3, outsold. I think it was 3D World.
I'm pretty sure it was Knack.
What's Lightning Returns?
Yeah, I remember Knack being the story.
Knack was Knack was the headline people kept running with.
That was another Europe. I'm talking about in Japan.
Yeah, I remember.
Knack was a European headline.
You know what's so funny about the Knack
about
thing?
UK.
I remember people saying, Super Mario Killer is here with Knack.
Yeah, that's why I kept hearing was the Knack shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, the end result was 3D World outsold it by significant margins in the long run. You know, it was just like, yeah, because it came out November 21st, 2013. So it was Lightning Returns versus 3D World in Japan, and everyone freaked out. Oh, it's doomed. 3D World did like 100,000. Lightning Returns did 300,000, and then like when it was all said and done,
completely fell off a
it wasn't even close. You know, so it's just, that I just feel like.
But there was no follow up.
No
headline video or article or because that's the game those guys play. So.
And in the same vein, we've made a lot of predictions on the show over the years and never gone back and looked. Every once in a while we do, but most of the time we never.
Yeah, but we're not like journalists like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Knack 2 was the other one. It was in the UK. It was ahead of 3D World, and that's again the Wii U was like selling nothing in the UK. Like they just never bought in, and it's just one of those things. But it's not like FIFA's going to have legs because it's on the Switch. It's not going to be some miracle comeback, but it's just like, and it's the first time supposedly they put their best effort on a Nintendo system. And Mezati always talks about earning, what do you call it? Not earning your fans, but building up a fan base, because they had this, you got to basically start from scratch.
Yeah, you got to invest in your fan base.
Yeah, investing in your fan base. So I would think, honestly, if FIFA 18 sold like 500,000 on the Switch, I would hope they would think that was a success. But
you don't know. You never know with EA, man.
You don't know. Yeah, that other video I was talking, he said even if it sold 2 million on the Switch in its life, that's not even worth putting on there. Some dude was saying that. It's like 2 million, like that's not worth their probably $1 million investment to make 60 million or 100 million.
Well, the thing is, do you think that even with that would make them throw a little bit of caution to the wind and do something a little bit crazier? No, they would just chalk that up as, oh, here's money in the bank for us. Let's meander something else out there now.
Yeah, it's crazy that this dude was seriously saying even if it sold 2 million worldwide FIFA, that wouldn't be worth EA's time. I was like, what?
That's kind of ridiculous.
Are you fucking serious?
Very ridiculous.
Because it sells, 18 million on the other consoles combined. It's like,
well, combined, that's not fair because it sells 14 million on PS4 alone.
Yeah, with a 60-some million install base. It's just one of those things. It's frustrating. I shouldn't even acknowledge it, but it's like there's really two like serious YouTubers reporting this. Like it's
I mean, that's why it's hard for me to take a lot of these dudes seriously. And you just feel like they should know better. It's like then you start questioning their motives. Is it just to rile up stuff, or is this a real concern for them? I don't know.
It's the Nintendo propaganda.
That's why I don't watch too many dudes. I mean, I'm like you, Juice. I don't watch.
Yeah, I only watch the women, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Wow. Really, I got to give Clocked It another shout out because like
Clocked It. Like I watch smaller
videos, and it's like he's got I don't even know if he's got a couple hundred subscribers or not.
I don't think he's at 100 yet, which is unbelievable to me.
I need to promote him like on Twitter or something, but
we gotta pump him out more.
And it's like like dudes like that, real gamers. Like I don't think people want to hear from people who actually play games more than they talk about them. Like every week we talk for 2 hours on here. I play more than 2 hours of video games in a normal week. I played more than 2 hours just yesterday during football. Like, you know,
some dudes have podcasts every night, it seems.
Some people like to take systems apart more than they like to play games on the system.
Oh no,
that's just facts. You know, some people buy a bunch of other consoles so they can say they're unbiased. Like,
there are some. I mean, let's not pretend that they're not opportunists on here.
That's true. I mean,
there are opportunists on YouTube, especially. Come on.
It's just, I mean, even in the real world, and I seen somebody commented earlier, even bad shit happens. Guess what? That is like, it's as shitty as it is to say, for news outlets. That's like, not Christmas, but that's their chance to do what they do. Like, they don't. I'm sure they don't hope for bad stuff. But when it does happen, that's like...
If they got a video up within like 5 minutes of this stuff being mentioned, like, you know what they're about. Like, come on.
It's about the money. It's a hustle.
I can talk about this stuff too, but I don't. It's just like not that serious. But when you see 20 to 30 people, bigger YouTubers, all have the same headline and talking about the same damn thing, it's all about the paper, man. It's about making that YouTube money.
Well, just, I mean, real quick, real world stuff. We talked about the 9/11 back on when was it 16th anniversary a couple podcasts ago. I don't remember his name now, but who was the dude on ABC News that basically covered the whole thing? And he was like, helped people get through a tragic event. Like, that, as bad as it is to say, that helped his career. Like, stuff bad for news, like, that's the stuff they report. That's how they make their money. That's how they get their ratings. You know, good news doesn't sell.
That takes too much work, Juice. Today, it was like,
today they don't.
You can make more money with the negative stuff and being a tabloid tuber. That's what a lot of these dudes are, tabloid tubers, man. They don't got time for that. Like, you can easily throw up some reaction to some news article. Like, that's the easiest thing you can do on YouTube. So why take the time to like try to build up some kind of rapport?
And then if you set your channel up as this cover everything guy, but then if you like said, wait a minute, that number's kind of misleading, then you sound like you're damage controlling, then you're probably going to lose people, you know, when you're that type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny, like, because we're the ones who get accused of, like, you know, DC. I don't even want to say the term because it's so wrongly used in this community. I'll just say DCing. We're the ones that get accused of that. And, you know, I've made videos where I, you know, call Aonuma out for his BS. And I don't see those guys doing that. But about their favorite, you know, guys or their favorite companies. So it's, you know, Nintendo's whipping boy. It's easy to do it because, yeah, you'll piss off Nintendo fans, but, you know, for the most part, you can get by doing that. And there's a little transition going on right now where I've seen people getting backlash from, like, you know, dissing Nintendo just without any real merit behind it.
Yeah, well, that was
changing a little bit.
Yeah, that was the thing to do. The 2015 for the Wii U, Nintendo, so-called Nintendo fans, bash the Wii U. That's how you're getting views. Try to be multiplayer. Oh, the Switch is looking to be popular. Well, I'm going to jump back on Nintendo. Everything good. Love the Switch. Love the portable mode. You know, forget that I said that I
FIFA NBA great boys.
Forget that I said that I want to play on my TV, not in some little screen. Forget that I said that. I love the Switch in portable mode.
Yeah, it's like, what? I remember you can't revise history. I mean, you're doing it, but I remember where you came from.
Like Retro said, if I had no life and was someone like, you know, Black Bond or something, I would go back and find all the times somebody said, I want to play a game on my TV, not on a small screen. or something along that lines about the 3DS or Wii U, and then edit it right before them saying, well, I can play it in, in portable mode. I can play it on the go.
Yeah, that's like what people, like it's like you said, like I used like Blackbond and Trey as an example. Like these dudes, they have like folders on each other's PCs, each other's, like and they record everything and they have like folders and shit. I don't got time for that shit.
I don't even know
that takes
videos.
time.
Like, literally, I wouldn't even know where to begin trying to find, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Player Essence, trashing the Wii U, the gamepad, and the 3DS, saying he wanted to play on his TV. I like the guy. I like, having some news and, just he's up, optimistic and not optimistic, but charismatic and stuff. I don't mind having one news channel, but the dude basically said about 3DS and the gamepad, I want to play on my 55-inch TV probably 100 times. And now it's the complete opposite. I want to play in portable mode. I want to play laying down. I want to play on the small screen. That's how I want to play. And it just like a lot of that happened, and it's just crazy.
And when you have like that's you got shit where like somebody with like Trey and Blackbone, for example, like Blackbone says something and Trey's like, oh wait, he's talking about sales here. Okay, that's folder C, article B, and then they put that in their video program and they record themselves dancing a bit, and like that's it,
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I wouldn't even know where to begin.
I don't partake.
So I see it, I know it, and I just said it, and I know OG and I are cool, but we're not like super tight where I'm going to be on a podcast or he's going to be on mine, but we're still friendly. But you got to call a spade. No harm, no foul, no hard feelings. I just that's what happened. And if I was one of those people with no time and or nothing but time, maybe I could throw a little video together. It'd be for fun, and it would be I think it would be funny, but I'm not. No way I'd ever do that. So
I don't think he will think that's funny.
You probably wouldn't think it's funny, no. I think it would be, but because I've said things, there's people could do the same thing. I said I wasn't going to buy Splatoon if it didn't have voice chat. And
you also said you were debating on Mario Kart, and we saw that, didn't it?
Yeah, I did get that for $45, so that was my.
That sounds like DC and me.
I wasn't going to pay full price, and just like I said, I'm not buying Doom. That's at $60, $50, $40. Like that game will be.
Well, that's a third-party game. Nintendo fans don't buy third-party games anyways. So.
That'll be. I mean, just like the other versions, it dropped to $40 in the same year.
I don't think that's gonna happen on Switch though.
No, it's not.
You know what though?
I don't think so. It's gonna drop. I don't think it's gonna drop that precipitously. Ooh, I love that word.
Oh, this man.
I think.
Stop trying to sound intimate.
I think by E3, Doom on Switch.
I read books too. Damn it. Sorry.
I just say by E3, I think Doom on Switch will be 40 or below.
Really?
They're just looking for. I mean, they're looking for that initial first couple weeks holiday sales. That's what a lot of these third parties make their money. Yeah, GTA 5 still selling, but it's like a $20 game now. They're not making. They made $1 billion+ off it at 60. Now that's just a little bit of cash flowing in. So. And
so why not drop a Switch version at 60 and start all over again?
Well, I mean,
makes no sense.
The one dude that said that LA Noire was coming also said patience to a GTA port. So,
we'll see.
It's like again, the fake Nintendo fans, fake YouTubers who are getting excited about another version of GTA 5, guys that have had 360s, have PS4s, have Xbox Ones, have a PC. Now suddenly you can just see their excitement. Like, why are you excited about this 4-year-old game?
I'd rather have Red Dead.
Exactly. Like, it's already made its money. And then another person's like, well, why bring it to Nintendo? Like, well, they're not going to make as much money. Well, they've already made $1 billion. So, like, why not? I don't want the game, but why the hell not? Why wouldn't you bring it? It makes no sense.
They can port it for a few $100,000. They would easily make that money back. Goodwill to Nintendo fans, and you appreciate yourself.
I'll never buy GTA 5 ever.
I wouldn't buy it, but yeah.
I don't know, and it does make me a little not mad, but it breaks my heart a little bit to see someone get excited about the potential for a 4-year-old game coming.
But it's funny when the 4-year-old games that they pick. They didn't, they got fun. They made fun of people who wanted Skyrim.
Yeah,
that 4-year-old game, that was just too much. That's just, well, it's more than 4. It's like 6 years.
It's like 6, but
yeah. But I'm just, what I'm saying. It's just like there's all these, again, that damn word nuance. They'll decide what old game is acceptable and which old game is okay to get happy about. Can't get happy about LA Noire. Don't get happy about that, but.
I'm actually that to me a game I never played. That one has a way better chance. Even I mean, obviously, I have a hatred toward GTA 5, but even though I already own the game, so it's like LA Noire already has an appeal to me, and it could give it a second chance on a Nintendo system, a game that they probably didn't feel the sales were that great.
Like I enjoy playing GTA 5, but when I play it, it just reminds me of how much lesser it is than GTA 4 was. Like, just so much stuff you can't do anymore.
I know GTA 4
to me insane.
I really love that. I was surprised people think I'm crazy that GTA 4 is
GTA 4 is eminently better than GTA 5, and like. I don't want to get to a GTA discussion.
It actually felt to me more like a game that I could just play through, and it felt like a game from start to finish, where GTA 5 is like, here's this world simulator, do what you want, even more so than the other one.
You can't even, I was playing it the other day. I'm trying to cause chaos, I'm going up to crowds of people and just kicking something or swinging, and everybody takes off. Everybody's afraid in these games now. And before, you'd have 20 people trying to fight you for yelling at somebody. It's like, you can cause all these big fights and all this stuff in GTA 4. You can't do that in 5.
Yeah, you can ride a Sea-Doo in a boat, though.
Well, that's important for 5 minutes, and you're bored half to death.
With the fucking most loose controls you could ever experience in a quad or an actual racing minigame. But anyway, we better wrap this up. We're going we're over 2 hours, so almost 2.5 now. So we'll just quick final thoughts and get on out of here. So Terrell, why don't you go first?
I like video games. Stardew Valley is something to be. I'm actually very curious about getting that one. Yeah, good podcast. I don't really have much to say, so lots of gameplay to win.
And Stardew Valley is one of those games that there shouldn't be any sacrifices for the Switch.
Oh hell no!
Oh,
there is.
No,
it's blasphemy.
So that's another. That's where the portability actually truly stands out, is when everything else is equal and it looks just as good and plays just as good as the other versions. Plus, it's portable. To me, that's okay. When you're making a bunch of sacrifices, and the portability, like we talked about last week, sometimes to me doesn't make up for it. So, Robert, you seen any movies lately?
Yeah, I saw American Made. I thought that was really good. I enjoyed that one a lot.
I hate that movie.
American Made?
There's nothing wrong with the movie, but you guys know I'm a filmmaker, and I'm writing a script called American Made, and this
really?
comes out and totally takes my title. I'm pissed about that.
Then hurry the fuck up, Tay.
And my script is way different. It's not nowhere.
I'm sure, yeah. It's not like Pablo Escobar and stuff.
No.
It's like when Avatar took the movie right to the name
that was just blatant, though. Avatar, the anime, had been around. It was just chilling. And then the Avatar movie comes out and it can't even call itself that. That's cold. That's just.
I'm glad it couldn't, because it was.
Yeah, it was trash though. So
didn't deserve to have the name.
Yeah. Sorry, Robert. I didn't even take your thing over, man.
No, it's fine. And what's it called? I'm actually pretty interested in Stardew Valley because it's the closest to no, that's not. I was gonna say close to Animal Crossing, but not really. But it's a hint of it, and something like that on the Switch, and that could be pretty cool. I've never played it, and I've heard everyone says it's really damn good.
You're gonna lose your soul, man.
Yeah, because I feel like I'd get into that.
I have almost 200 hours in that shit already. You will never stop playing that game.
Really?
He's never gonna play a Super NES classic then.
I mean, I'm one of those people that it's cool to look at it. It looks so cool, but I don't know if I need to play every single thing on it if I already have it on the Virtual Console, the ones that I wanted. and also this week is a Blade Runner. I'm very excited.
That's getting some great reviews. I mean, that director, every movie he makes is
damn
you
good.
can fall asleep in, but it's a really good movie. Like, it's not a lot happening.
How do you do that? He gets like these random backhanded compliments.
No, it's like it's a great movie, great acting, cinematography, but they're so slow. And I think, you know, you'd have to know that going in. I think Blade Runner is going to be just as slow as any other of his movies. So,
well, I'm super excited for Blade Runner. I think it's going to be really damn good.
Have you seen the first one yet?
Yeah, I saw it last week.
Okay. I haven't watched it in years, but apparently you don't really need to have seen it to enjoy the new one.
Well, just in case I did watch it, you know, I wanted to see the first one anyway, and so
I think you should see it, yeah, just to understand the world and where you're coming from.
And I'm excited because it looks really good, and people are really liking it. I mean, you hear these reviews, people are praising the hell out of it, and I mean, we'll see. And if you haven't seen it already, go watch it. I think it is still a fantastic movie. And this isn't even next week. Well, next week I'll say again, Baby Driver comes out on Blu-ray.
I can't wait to watch that.
It's gonna be really good.
I'm picking that up.
Yeah, me too. I already pre-ordered it, so I'm ready for that. And of course, guys, Odyssey. Oh man, I need Odyssey already.
Too much entertainment this month.
Yeah,
I got that kind of money.
Then next month you got Justice League and some other games. It's like
it's gonna be amazing, and there's gonna be no time. But you know what? If you slow down time, maybe you'll have more of it.
There's an anime reference I can make, but I know no one would get it, so I'm not gonna do it.
All right.
That hurts me.
I love that, Robert. That should be your quote at the end of all your final thoughts. All right, Retro, you got any final thoughts?
I just want to use this moment to complain about Nintendo's false advertisement concerning Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like, the trailers, you know, it's all like super music, you see skulls flying and racing and shit. You know, oh great, I'm gonna buy that game, I'm gonna do that. And I'm halfway through the fucking game, and I got my skull, and the piece of shit can't even fly yet.
You're the
That's a side mission.
Yeah, no, but it's gonna take. So I'm like looking up, like, why can't my skull fly?
You gotta be past
thing that you're gonna get like near the end of the game. It's like, you're fucking hell, you know. The way Nintendo advertises shit, you know, you play the game, you get in the skull, you fly around, you know. But that wasn't like
I can say I have more time in the game with a flying skull than I had without a flying skull, but I did play it quite a bit after I beat it.
It's one of those games that I want to finish before I play Xenoblade 2, and like it's not that I didn't like the games. I really liked the game, even though it really has big issues. But it's just, you know, more shit comes out, so I kept putting it back, and now I'm way into it now. I'm fucking enjoying it.
Like chapter 8 and 9 are really good.
Yeah, it starts kicking.
You can fly after chapter 8, I believe. You can do the mission to.
This merely fucking ripped me off with that shit. Apart from that, great podcast.
All right, how about you, T?
Yeah, earlier I said that GTA 4 was eminently better. That was incorrect. That's not how you use that word. I was trying to say infinitely better. I said eminently.
That makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It's imminent that it's better.
I would much rather have... I said in the chat that I'd much rather have like GTA 4 with the DLC, like the Ballad of Gay Tony and all that stuff, than GTA 5. But anyway, great podcast as usual. Make sure you go watch my video that's not out yet.
You have a new one up for Bias
today. Yeah. Completely forgot about that, so enjoy that one.
I felt like watching that. I'm like, yeah, I can't quite say what T's saying because I haven't been as hard on Nintendo. I wasn't as hard on Enuma for that gamepad thing.
Yeah, and he came out and he vindicated me.
Yeah. I said that I felt that he couldn't at the time he couldn't confirm or deny that at the time the NX version was gonna. You know, he couldn't really speak on the features of the NX version, which turned out there wasn't any.
There wasn't any.
So.
Yeah. So again, Nostradamus, he cracked the case before it happened. So anyway, great podcast, like you always say. Hey, Nintendo fools.
And we talked about this before, but having played 200 and some hours in Breath of the Wild, with all the menu. Like all those items and stuff, like I don't know that having a little drop drag thing with all that options on the gamepad would have been any better than holding like up on the D-pad and scrolling. Like
I'm gonna tell you, in some instances it would, because even today I was playing it and I'm bringing up my menu and I by mistake hit the left button or whatever it sends you to like the save menu or sends you to like the map, or I just end up hitting the wrong stuff and I have to scroll all the way through. I'm just remembering my experience on like Darksiders and how much easier it was to just bloop, touch that thing on the screen and you're done. You can slide it with your finger. I think little stuff like that would have been better, but overall I'm still very happy with it.
Yeah, I like how it pauses so I can switch like in the middle of combat and I don't have to kind of look down. Like Wind Waker, it was cool and stuff because there wasn't that many items. It was all on one screen. So I feel like he also came back later and said that once they switched over to the new mechanic and got, instead of the touchscreen, that everyone kind of agreed that it was a more intuitive way to do it because of all the different weapons you can have. So, but anyway, I got two final thoughts. My first one, since we were talking about movies and Blu-rays coming out, I gotta give some shit to Warner Brothers for being fucking greedy 2 times in a row now. Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman. Usually as a Blu-ray collector, usually the launch week, a Blu-ray will be $19.99, $17.99.
Yeah.
Sometimes even I've seen a few times there's been like $15.99, $14.99. Like Inglourious Bastards on its launch week was like $14.99. That week ends and then it goes up to $24.99. That's been happening. Blu-ray's been out since what, 2006, 7. So Suicide Squad comes out launch week, $24.99. A month later, it's $16.99 because it got its sales and it's been cheap ever since. Wonder Woman comes out $24.99. A movie I just can't wait to watch it again, but I just don't pay more than $20 for a Blu-ray. I just won't do it. And I'm just so pissed that they just know, hey, we got this bigger audience, like a lot of female. We got a lot of women to go see an action movie. Their majority of Blu-ray sales are to male audience. That's just facts. We got a lot of people excited about Wonder Woman, so let's just get as much money as we can out of it week 1 and not have the usual price drop. And so now I got to sit here and scan Best Buy and Amazon every weekend for the first sale, and it's just like, come on, like, you got to give it to.
Juice. I totally understand where you're coming from, but these prices are our own fault because we don't get off our big butts and go to see these movies enough. And so these companies these studios have to cater to China and all these other countries that they haven't done before. And because of that, movies get confusing as hell and it's just weird. You have Transformers and crap like that. And they don't make any money here. And they have to find ways to make that little extra. It's not just about,
I would agree with you.
Well, I have a little bit of insider.
Wonder Woman did what, 400 or 500 million in the U.S. Did almost 800 million worldwide or more.
It's done over 800 million.
And it was always in the past, the more money the movie made at the box office, usually, especially with the DVD era, usually even cheaper it would be in its launch week, and then go up to the $20, $25 range. Like if a movie was like Ghost in the Shell, which flopped, well, we want to try to get as much money out, so that's going to be $20, $25. That's how it used to work. So. A successful global phenomenon movie, I can't take that.
Well, that's one movie. These are giant studios with thousands of people they employ, and you got to remember that you have to do at least 3 times your budget to basically break even, and then you start making profit. So I don't know what Wonder Woman's budget was. I think it was 150 plus, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So I suck at math. What's that? 450. After 450 is when you actually start making some money. So,
yeah, and I mean they had a flop in the
right.
King Arthur.
King Arthur flopped. And that's what I'm saying. It's like that's one movie. It looks like a lot of money.
Yeah, but it is doing wonders.
And I mean, Lego Batman did pretty well. So, but anyway, it's a gripe, and they've done it twice now with Suicide. Two movies that did
have
really
you forgotten
well.
$30 VHSs? Like you're good. I remember paying like $30.
That's if you didn't wait. Like, if you didn't wait for the what do they call it? The full release. Like, you could buy when the rental places used to get them. You couldn't. A lot of movies you couldn't buy when the rental companies could. That like fed the rental business.
Oh, I don't know, but I went to I used to go. I can't remember the name of it. I used to go to this movie-based store in the mall all the time.
Oh yeah, in the mall, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and I bought I want to say it was Phantom Menace, which I don't know what I was thinking about then, but I bought Phantom Menace. It was like $28 plus tax or whatever.
Yeah, that's just how mall stores are. But I don't want to. Let's wrap this up. The other thing I want is Red Dead Redemption 2 got a new trailer, and I just see people just going bananas. And you know what I see when I seen that trailer? I see 120 gigabyte install. I see 5+ minute initial loading time, and that's the first thing I saw when I saw that game. This is gonna be 120 gig. This is gonna be the biggest game of all time. And Resident Evil 7 takes 3-4 minutes to load initially. This game's gonna take 5, 6, 7 minutes. Like, that's what I thought. Yeah, it looks gorgeous, and they're really pushing.
But gorgeous. That's the thing that kind of struck me, is that I thought it was gonna look better. It didn't look.
Really, when I was looking at the clouds in the sky, I was like, "Damn!" Like they just took it to a whole new level.
I didn't really look at the clouds.
Is that like counting grass?
But
like the grass and
that's what I was just thinking. Like, this game's gonna fill your Xbox One X, like with the 4K version. Like,
boy, oh my gosh,
that's gonna be 200 gigs in 4K. So it's just I don't know what the answer is. I just know that it's that the games and the file sizes are growing faster than like a good option to to put these games on your system. So,
and let me just say, there are no 200 gig discs out there.
No, there's only 50.
You're down. That game is not on that disc, folks. DRM, we're all a part of it now, just so you know.
Yeah. So anyway, that's final thoughts. Great podcast. We kind of dragged on this last half hour, but hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Had good viewers. Chat was pretty good. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week.